Hello, welcome back to the Eunoiacast, episode 11. We're covering the council elections and local elections, etc. It's 2021, delayed. you know that thing? No, we'll keep this. Like, we've had to do 3 takes for various reasons. But you know that thing when you just can't think of anything? I couldn't think of it. Well, it's the year, right? It's the year the council elections got delayed in 2020. So there's a lot fucking up now. I think there's mayoral elections in London, and I think is Sunderland's up. I don't know if Sunderland's up.
Councils up.
Right. Yeah. I think all of them are maybe. I don't know.
Elections,
MSPs in Scotland, and then obviously the big boy for the night, which the councils do matter, but probably the main one you can draw any wider political thing from is Hartlepool by-election, which the Tories on the last poll I think had an 18-point lead at one point or another.
17 points, but they are set to get 50% of the vote in Hartlepool.
50%. That's like an actual. Yep. No, that's like a demo. You know, people criticise like first past the post being undemocratic gets less than 50%. They're actually going to be getting plus 50. They're going to be getting a majority. Well, potentially. I mean.
No, it's like,
they might, but I don't know.
It's like if the Tories can get 50% in Hartlepool, I have no faith in this general election.
Yeah.
It's like I might just flee the country. I can't live in Tory Britain for another 25 years.
Well, that's what he said about Brexit, didn't he?
That's what he went down when Trump was elected.
No, the thing is, actually that's quite funny. When Trump won, a lot of liberals were saying like we're going to flee the country, but none of them ever said they were going to flee to Mexico. All of them said we're fleeing to Canada. No, that's what I mean. They were like, obviously they're liberals. They love every country in the world. Every country's equal and beautiful, right? And even though Mexico's an objective shithole, okay, but all of them were saying, none of them said. Actually, not all of them were saying. None of them said I'll go to Mexico. Even they thought. Mexico's shit, innit? I won't. They maybe go to Cancun.
Yeah. They thought, I'm going to go to Canada.
Yeah, because Canada's nice.
I can save money on my health.
Yeah.
Did any of them really do that?
No, that wasn't a thing.
They didn't like the lady,
that wasn't a thing. I think Jeffrey Epstein or someone like that went to an island in the middle of nowhere, but I don't think anybody else relocated. Yeah, to get away from his best mate.
You can appreciate him doing that.
Well, yeah, exactly. He'd done a good thing. He stood up against Trump. Jeffrey. I wonder who. You know what? Actually, we know who Epstein is, but I wonder who he voted for.
Trump, I think.
You think he would have voted? No, was he not in prison? No, he wasn't. Well, I don't know who we'd vote for. He's New Yorker.
Rich New Yorker.
Rich New Yorker.
Very good friends with Trump.
Did you vote for Newt Gingrich in the last election?
Newt Gingrich? He's a paedophile. You know who is a paedophile? He looks like... No. Obama.
I said your mom.
Well, maybe, right? No, you know it looks weird? I was watching BBC News earlier on the election coverage. Just before it came on, they were talking about the insurrection, January 6th thing, Capitol riots, and one of the people who was on, who's like switched his position on that because he was quite critical of Trump, was Lindsey Graham. Right, he was critical of Trump on January 6th because obviously he knew pretty politically untenable to side with him in that moment. Obviously, he switched back to loving Trump, and when he went to the was it CPAC, and he done his speech. Was it CPAC?
Probably CPAC.
Yeah, right, and he done a speech, and the Republicans loved it and everything. I thought. His face, he looks like a cat. Lindsey Graham, like he looks like.
I've always thought it looks a bit like.
He looks like a very metrosexual. A cow.
I've always thought he has a cow face.
He like a metrosexual cow.
He could be a metrosexual.
Like because he's got a bit of a. He's got the I think this is an alright word to say. What is it? When somebody's like a bit. Camp. Yeah, no, he has a really camp southern voice. A really, really camp southern voice. Yeah. He's a bit disarming, but then I think like God. I saw Trump and him side by side, right? And I thought, which one? But I also thought, right, I hate Lindsey Graham more than I hate Trump. That's what I thought. Because Lindsey Graham's nothing. Trump's like an actual ideology. He's something. He embodies something, and people love him for something at least, and I can respect that. I thought this as well, right? And this might sound controversial, but during the Capitol riots, I thought recently about it, anyways, that it was actually quite admirable.
Oh yeah,
no, I mean it was really admirable.
I said this at the time, is that the Capitol riots was real, genuine, like revolutionary fucking energy. People were actually willing to. A group of people were willing to go into the White House and fucking murder politicians.
Yeah, right. No,
fuck it up.
The only problem is I didn't agree with the reasoning for it. The reasoning for it was wrong. It was just idiotic. It was based
they were
on
trying to, actually uphold democracy.
Yeah.
I
No. And they thought but when they went in there, they thought they were. Mm-hmm. They thought they were actually fighting for democracy. And Trump was acting like fucking Robespierre, just before they fucking stormed the and I sound like a Trump supporter now, saying like you sound like him, but he was a bit of a murderous maniac. Right? Yeah, he was a bit of an idiot, sort of revolutionary guy, and obviously he's not the type of guy to start a revolution. He's a billionaire guy, benefits from how society is run. But I thought, it was quite admirable looking back on it. That burst of violence was so genuine and honest. Yeah. It was probably, that burst of violence was way more genuine and way more honest and real and raw than any of the fucking reactions to it. Oh, yeah. All of the reactions to it. This is so disgusting. Oh my god, it's just. Ugh.
No, it's always
it
not
was, really cared that
it
much
was,
about it.
No, CNN didn't care that. CNN thought this fucking fucking
hell. Thought,
ratings.
Yes, we can get a really good self-righteous headline.
Yeah. And then obviously the politicians, like obviously Democrats, come out afterwards and act as though they're fucking Jesus Christ.
They're so very indignant. And
we nearly died.
What I fucking hated afterwards is when when they were counting electoral votes. When they done it afterwards, they were talking about. What the fuck is this?
So I'm waiting on BBC right now.
It's like they've got BBC on the BBC. But afterwards, when they resumed the counting electoral college votes, every fucking Democrat and a few Republicans were talking about how they assaulted this palace of democracy. It's like you self-righteous fucking fella.
No, I it's like it is the heart of. Right, why is George Clooney on this? I just thought this is really bizarre to me. But I thought, although it clearly is the heart of democracy, right in America, it's the representation of.
It's a representation of U.S. democracy.
Not of democracy. Yeah. Full stop. It's a representation of. Just U.S. democracy. I mean, it doesn't. I would never argue that the Capitol building in Washington DC represents British democracy, or even. Well,
I thought you meant to say Parliament.
No. I mean, it doesn't represent our type of democracy, whatever that is.
Even just the idea that the U.S. Capitol building represents anything that can. Really be called democratic is just It's just like
they came out and they were just so self-righteous. They're on this mission of just we are victims, and it's like, right, I agree. You know what I think was in more danger than a lot of Democrats in Republicans. Yeah. I think the people more in danger than any fucking Chuck Schumer or Nancy. They would have killed them, but. It was definitely Mike Pence. They would have fucking annihilated him.
No, what they were chanting "Hang Mike Pence."
Yeah. They weren't chanting "Hang Nancy Pelosi." In all fairness to Mike Pence, he didn't come out and be self-righteous about it afterwards. It's a piece of shit. No, he didn't go out and going, I nearly died there, right? He tried to phone Trump and he blanked him. I feel like that, really. No. They were invading the building and Mike Pence got took out by a security team and he was trying to phone Trump to be like, literally, imagine that conversation. Yeah. What the fuck, mate? You've just sent a bunch of people to murder us.
Alex Jones ringing up Paul Joseph Watson to bully him.
If Trump rang him, he would have went banging him.
He's only been by his side for 4 years and Trump won't pick up his call.
He wouldn't.
The funny thing that happened during that, you might remember, is that while there were people in the building, while the senators and housemen were being evacuated in this underground tunnel, Trump was still calling up lawmakers. Look, could you please just vote to reject the electoral college vote?
I was like, mate, that is out the window now, right? And right, I know we're getting sidetracked on the US politics, and I don't want to become like the fucking I don't want to become the Paul Joseph Watson show because that's the sort of thing he deals with, and it becomes very irritating as a British watcher to watch a lot of British YouTubers just only talk about American politics. But one more thing with that, the reason I've been thinking about Trump a bit more is because he came back into the media spotlight in the past couple of days with his new platform. What is it called?
He doesn't have it yet.
He doesn't have it yet.
No, what happened was...
He made a blog post, doesn't he?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Facebook have upheld his permanent ban, but then it might get overturned and whatever.
Yeah, I can imagine it will.
So on the same day that got released, Trump's been saying for ages he's going to release his new social media, which apparently is still sort of under construction or whatever. But what he's done, which he could have done, literally, he could have done this fucking when he got banned. He could have done this on January 6th. He's just made a blog post section on his website.
But what is the blog post about? I haven't saw the tweet, to be honest.
Tweets. It's basically just tweets, and you can share them with Facebook and Twitter. So it's like second-hand social media.
Odd. Yeah. Oh, that is pathetic. Oh god. I wonder if it will be the next big thing. I haven't listened to any right-wing YouTubers' opinions on it yet. I don't know if they love it or not.
It's not social media. It's just literally Trump writes something, and then
then they can share it.
Yeah, you can share it, and that's it.
So basically, just a loophole to get him on Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah.
So he's not. Right, so I thought it was going to be an actual, like a new Twitter.
No, apparently
for Trump people.
So what happened to Parler? Maybe not.
Parler's back.
Is it back?
To be fair, it's been there back on the App Store now.
No, Parler was like a fucking cesspit of just proper extremism.
Yeah, well, it got took off the App Store. I think it's
like
back on there.
Isn't it? The anonymous hacker.
Yeah, he's fucked up. No, but they're I think they're back on App Store and Google Store and shit like that now. They've been allowed back on.
Nice.
I think what's going to happen is they're going to start moderating it, and then right wingers are not going to like it anymore because they're moderating it. They love Telegram at the moment, I think.
Well, we love Telegram.
Yeah.
No, we use Signal. That's the one.
Do they love Telegram at the moment?
Probably because it's encrypted.
Yeah, I think they love. No, there's another Twitter one they like fake Twitter.
Parler
was like that moment in the spot. Gab.
There's something called
Gab.
Band.
Yeah,
they love band.
Band dot video.
Yeah. They love that one.
Nice, change it to band this dot video.
Yeah, no, it's always so fucking amusing, right? When you just see these like new video trends or social media trends starting right wing Twitter or like right wing videos, because then they all cover it, and then within a day it's gone. Yeah. Like it's dead already. You'll get like the few little remnants of ones that are a bit late to it, but then it's gone. Like nobody cares about Paula. Nobody cares about, I don't know, what's like the... Does anyone remember the last big thing right wingers had? Like a big... fucking Little Nas. What was the devil video? Yeah. That was a big thing. For about... For like 5 days everyone was freaking out on like right wing Twitter and right wing YouTube.
I also like how he brought out some fucking shoes with like
blood in it. He wasn't allowed to do that.
I find it funny that he saw the controversy and just doubled down on it. Like I can actually.
Oh yeah, he was like doubling down. He didn't care.
Take the piss out of these idiots who get offended.
Yeah, I was thinking, God, this video's going to be bad. No, because even though I was watching right wingers react to it, I thought the way they were making out as though it was like fucked up. Like the video was objectively horrible, and I was going to find it. The video's a bit cringe, but I watched it, and it's 3 minutes. I was just thinking the whole time, when's it gonna get really fucked up? And I think when it got fucked up, I didn't find it fucked up, but they did. It got fucked up when he lap danced in front of Sid. Yeah. That's when it just got. To them, I think that was the moment. It was like, oh my god, it's went too far now. He's lap dancing on Satan's fucking crotch.
No,
right, and
he
killed Satan in the end, though. So if anything, it was quite a.
Well, yeah, he was God.
Yeah. These people are they'd probably heard Old Town Road and then just not known that Lil Nas has been gay the entire time. He didn't just become.
Oh yeah. No. The way they view it is like, he just became gay for
pay.
Yeah. That when it's like, yeah, but. I actually watched a Paul video where he brought that point up about how like being gay is not edgy anymore. I just thought
that's perfect.
Fucking hell, it's just
no, it just sums them up. That's what he cares about. Is it edgy to be this?
Yeah. But obviously, I told you about that tweet that he made when he said what was it? Was it from the Big Joe video? When he said
no working man.
No. I was saying that's when he said he tweet. No working man. Not that one about the Trump Tower thing. But he said at the end of a tweet like, it winds them up and it gets them angry. Yeah, and that's good enough. Yeah. It was the Nick Fuentes thing getting banned off the Delta Airlines flight, right? And it's just like, I just thought, man, that is pathetic. A pathetic stance to take on anything. It's funny and it winds them up. I mean, occasionally, look, if I met a right winger, I would like to think it'd be funny to wind their opinions up. I mean, Richie used to be more right-wing than us, and we used to laugh at his opinions, right? Because that's what you do to the opposition. It's almost like football clubs. You laugh at whoever, if another team's doing shit that your friends support, you laugh at them. And I get that that should be like 5% of your ideology.
It should be margin.
Yeah, it should be like, if that's your entire idea on everything, that it's funny and it winds libs up, then come on, man. I mean, just get a fucking, actually offer something political to the world. Actually offer something insightful instead of just, well, it's a bit laughable and it's funny.
Yeah.
It's pathetic to even go down that road. But let's get on to the actual core contents of the night, and that's the local council elections. And first, we'll explain why we all didn't vote.
You can go first.
Right. I have got evidence of this. So we're gonna look like right hypocrites if we just go on this whole time, and then at the end of the podcast we'll go, oh yeah, but we didn't vote, right? So I was wanting to vote in Leeds. Problem is, I applied for postal vote by accident. I thought I'd apply for poll card so you can vote on the day. I got me letter for the postal vote, alright? My girlfriend opened it and just left it, and then I looked at it and I went, oh shit, it's 3 days before the election. I need to post it to an office to get a postal vote back to post again, and that takes 10 days, alright? So I was fucked. I was like, I can't even vote. But I would have voted for, and we'll do this all for everybody, in Leeds I would have voted for SWP, Socialist Worker Party, and we'll get into them later on if we have time. But I would have voted for SWP. If I had that vote, I would have voted for them.
Yeah. These will be a safe Labour seat, though, won't it?
I think it is. We're in.
Nick's argument doesn't even matter.
Well, we're in like a really student area of Leeds, where it is Labour. It's Labour dominant. All councils are Labour. There's not a single Tory or anything like that here. But I don't know about tonight. I haven't really looked into our councils enough. Maybe that could change, but I think it's pretty solid Labour.
Yeah. Now there's actually graffiti right at the entrance type part that says this is a Labour constituency. Piss off, you twat.
But who?
Huh?
Who is that directed?
It's written underneath some photographer's thing. That's maybe a Tory or something.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. But for me, the reason I didn't vote is also because, to be fair, well, there's 2 reasons. One is that I couldn't. I thought I registered to vote in 2019, and I thought I'd been given a postal ballot address in Sunderland, which is where my permanent address is, and turned out it wasn't that. It was some other fucking kind of ballot that I couldn't use. And I just, by the time I found out, it was too late to
to actually do anything.
But also, my constituency in Sunderland is Sandhill, which is kind of just, no one knows where the fuck these places are, but Thorny Close and
Farrow McDonald's, I get it, yeah.
Yeah. And there were 4 candidates in total, I believe. No, 5. There was UKIP, Labour, Lib Dem, Conservative, and the Populist Party.
Oh, what's the catchphrase? I wear the lads!
I wear the lads!
Oh, you fucking piece of shit.
I wasn't going to vote for any of those people because they were all shit.
No, right, let's go through first. Right? If anybody listens to us, they'll probably gather we're left wing. Why were you not going to vote for Labour?
The thing is, one thing that I found very disappointing about this whole local election cycle is how little actual effort is put into local elections, because they are.
Oh, they're irrelevant.
As we talked about, they are important.
They are.
But they decide, obviously, school funding, all that. We'll probably get on that later.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a look. The only material that I could find online for this council, there wasn't even like a general Sunderland Labour manifesto for council elections. Nothing like that. It was just one Sunderland Echo article that had a paragraph for each candidate.
Right. Yeah, well, Sunderland Echo is not the bastion of reliable news because they can't even spell in their fucking news articles.
It was just fucking atrocious.
There's no information for you to actually decide.
Yeah, there was no actual information. There was no list of promises. There was nothing there. It was just the Labour one said, "Oh, I've been a councillor for 10 years," and it's like, okay, well, cheers, you haven't done much.
But no, it's almost like I've been a councillor for 10 years, so you might as well vote us again.
Yeah, pretty much. The Conservative one was just like, "Oh, hello, I'm from Sunderland, but I'm posh." So, and then
but they're actually from Sunderland.
I don't know.
There's some Tory MPs who have took over Northern constituencies post 2019 who aren't even from the area. I mean, the guy from Mansfield, remember him? We'll kind of give them food stamps because they'll spend it on
general election, especially I don't feel like people vote for the local MP. They always vote for the party.
Yeah, it's usually party allegiance. I mean, nobody's really voting for. Nobody's voting for fucking.
No
what's her
thinking,
name? Julie.
Yeah, it's not Julie Elliott.
Yeah,
so
nobody's
like,
voting for.
Labour because of Julie Elliott.
Yeah,
So,
nobody's voting for her. She's a nothing person.
No, the local council, obviously, I'm not going to vote Conservative because no amount of ethical or social seduction will convince me otherwise that the Tory party is lower than UKIP, I'm not racist. No, UKIP, I don't like UKIP. Populist Party, I looked into the Populist Party because I thought, the little paragraph written to someone, I'm going to be your voice, I want DBS checks for council. I was like, I don't disagree with that. And then,
got it downhill, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then I looked at the Populist Party website and it was like, it's just nativism, you know. It's stop from.
Yeah.
Alright, fuck.
Well, I can't wait for the local council to implement that because they obviously have a lot of power over the amount of immigrants that can come in the country.
And for the Labour one, and I could bring myself to vote Labour if the local MP was on the Corbyn side of the Labour. That's the part of the Labour Party that I want to support. But it wasn't that. She was very standard Blairite Labour. The thing that really ticked me off was that she'd written "How are the lads" at the bottom of her.
Is that what I thought it was the Populist Party wrote that.
No, that was the Labour.
Yeah,
Party.
they're not stupid. Enough to do that. I don't know why.
And the thing is, the Populist Party guy had actually written in his own statement. Like he'd actually sent something like, this is my statement. I just wrote this myself. And the Labour Party.
She had a pre-prepared.
Pre-prepared, and then I think I can't remember which one it was. But one of them hadn't even written the statement. They just written some deco just wrote a paragraph about them.
Oh, okay. Fucking hell.
But the Labour one was just standard Blair.
But yeah, just I mean, the best way to describe them, I've said it a couple times, nothing.
Yeah.
You're nothing. You're actually just scum.
Yeah,
you're a hateable person.
Middle of the road, believe in nothing but getting elected.
Genuinely, this is going to sound controversial, but if I had a gun to my head in that Labour constituency where you are, I would vote the Populist Party before I voted Labour.
Yeah, I was thinking that's what
I'd vote the Populist Party before. Not because I agree with them. Not because I agree with them. It could awaken Labour to maybe like, hold on, say if the Tories won it, alright, and then the Populist Party finished second, Labour finished third or whatever. If as long as they finished below them, it could awaken the Labour Party to go, alright, maybe we should actually get involved in this local area, try to help them out so we can regain power there. And it would give them more of a shock if an outside party got there. I wouldn't vote for the Populist Party for their policy. I mean, to be honest, I think something like the Populist Party, even if they did win that, would be absolutely ineffective because their ideas are too grandiose.
Yeah, well, they have an ideology, but no politics.
So there's just this load of royalist footage, and then it like snapped back to like 3 pundits or something, like these type of guys. But there was 3 of them standing next to like a row of nooses tied.
What
and it's like, it's just like regular royalist.
Well, maybe they went against
Prince Andrew was in the background.
Kid. Oh, was he?
Yeah. I thought I saw him leading the parade.
That's
like
daft. Don't put Prince Andrew in the background. I mean, I love him, but
nice lad.
I love the lad, but you know, he's not good on camera. No, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't look good on camera.
Camera shy.
Yeah, I'd love to go that island he went to, like, but. You know Epstein Island you can buy for 20 million. I just thought that's quite weird, isn't it? Right, we had some technical faults with this 2-bit fucking streaming service. It just went downhill, and the computer started making scary noises that scared me half to death.
It started showing us like the eBay logos for all
and then fucking, you know. I'm sure you wouldn't mind divulging this information with Richie had some fucking up shit on his computer. Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Christmas list. Right? It's from Richie, addressed to Santa. Yeah.
Richie still believes in Santa.
Yeah,
and that's why he didn't vote. Segueing us back.
He doesn't believe in Santa, he believes in Mama Claus, but we'll segue back on the topic. He didn't vote, but who would you vote for, Richie?
If I could be asked, probably Labour is the less of 2 evils. And just, I mean, to be fair, that's if I would have voted, which is a stretch because we live, I assume, in a safe seat. I kind of see the Conservatives.
So why didn't you vote?
Why didn't I?
Yeah.
To be honest, it was pretty last minute I actually learned about it. When you were putting in the chat a couple of days ago that there was council elections, that was the first time I've heard of it.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't see it in the run up to the news or any articles or anything. And when you brought it up, I knew instantly. I was just like not gonna bother, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's like it's just shit in it.
Well, you're an establishment hack because you would have voted Labour.
I'm a bit of a shill. Oh my god, it's the boy
watching.
It's the boy.
Right. For some reason, there's wedding footage from Kate and William's wedding from 2011 or some shit.
Repeated.
And Prince Andrew's just chilling in the background. He's just
Prince Andrew led a parade.
Right next to this guy. He's like financer in the 80s. He loved John Wayne. I mean, he loved John Wayne. He loved Big Mac, sorry, and he just fucking just done stuff. that no person would ever do, right? Except from a couple.
Yeah, he went on a holiday to his island.
Yeah, he did. And you, as I said, right, obviously these are recorded at different times because we're fucked up, and we're back now. But we're talking about Epstein's Island or something, and it costs a lot of money to buy.
Yeah.
Well, we could pull it again.
Yeah, apparently, if you get enough GTA dollars, you unlock Epstein's Island.
That's it. Well, if you get enough GTA dollars, you can fly to the first mission in GTA.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Yeah, Natchdown Town. Yeah.
No, what's the first place?
In
GTA, when they're in the snowy area and there's
North Yankton.
Yeah, you can go to North Yankton on GTA.
You do go back to North Yankton at one point. Yeah, it's true. In the campaign.
The COD campaigns, you go to North Yankton.
Yeah.
Now we've got an anti-priest, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it seems like the BBC's gave up doing election coverage this year.
Yeah,
like they're just not
covering the royal wedding that in fucking 7 years.
Yeah, I think it's like, I remember all the memories. Why are you crying? Right, that's the thing. Why do people cry at fucking royal weddings? It's disgraceful, to be honest. You piss me off.
It's unpatriotic.
Yeah, it is. It's actually bollocks. Right, regardless, just educate you. We're gonna educate you on the councils now. So obviously these results will be coming through until Monday. The main one tonight is Hartlepool, but Aaron has to go to the wank bank, so he won't be up to. He's got a lot of people in his wank bank.
Look, I'm going to the sperm bank. I'm making a donation and I'm taking some out.
Aren't you taking some sperm from the sperm bank?
Yeah, I am.
Wait, is that a thing? Can you buy...
What, withdrawals?
Can you buy jizz from a sperm bank?
Well,
no, you can buy cum though.
You can get donuts.
Oh yeah, you can buy cum.
I don't know.
Oh.
Well, if you need jizz, you can just talk to the bus driver. He's like,
No, but we're going to educate you because now we're going to talk about the 5 important councils. Right, and I mentioned this earlier before we start the podcast. I'm going to throw a question on you and Richie. Right, there's 5 vital councils that will sort of give you a feel of where this election's really going and who's properly won. What are those 5? Do you have any idea?
Individual councils.
Individual councils. No, Hartlepool's a by-election. We're talking about local councils.
I wouldn't imagine London's one of them because it's just going to be solidly Labour. There'd be 5 in England, I'm guessing.
Yeah,
5 in England.
Yeah.
Bristol, that one.
Nah,
Redcar.
Bristol's not there. No. Redcar Council. What the fuck?
It's an important seat.
There's like 3 councils there. I think.
There's one of them in Yorkshire.
Yeah, I think so.
Merton.
Merton. That's in the north. That's right next to Darren.
Thirst.
Thirst. That's a fucking rogue shout. No, nowhere near.
Not Liverpool.
Alright. I'll give you a clue.
It's in GA.
Right. The guy. There's a guy from this area, and he done this amazing song. Hope for the future. Something like that, right? The guy who actually goes. But he done that song. So where is that?
Liverpool.
It's Liverpool.
Liverpool, really?
City
I just said it wouldn't be Liverpool.
Yeah, you were wrong there. Because Liverpool is a really significant election this time round. Why is it?
Is it? Oh, I imagine, to be fair, because the mayor there got disgraced and he was Labour.
Joe Anderson.
Yeah.
Do you know why he got disgraced?
Nonce.
No, he wasn't a nonce. We'll get another nonces later on who have been disgraced. Right, and he was disgraced in a different way, right?
Speaking of nonsense.
Yeah. Right, no, he was disgraced because he took a lot of money in like back from contracts and shit like that from local developers. Don't know how much money he sort of got.
Embezzled?
How much he sort of embezzles. Not for himself, not for personal gain, just like how much his contracts individually was, and he was getting that cut from them.
Few million.
200 million
Fuck
pounds. 200
What?
million pounds.
200 million?
Yeah, 200 million pounds. And he stepped down because he got arrested.
One mayor?
Yeah.
By himself?
No, he didn't.
Not one mayor should have all that power.
Oh, shut the fuck up. No. He didn't make 200 million. He took percentage points from each developers. Right, but the thing is, what I find fucking really funny about this is, obviously he's done fraud and all that. It's horrible. But he also used intimidation tactics against like rivals and against people who were like threatening to rat him out. And he literally had a gang that would intimidate people. This was a gang of 4 people. One was a 72-year-old, right? One was a 62-year-old. One was a 25-year-old. One was a 45-year-old. And I was reading that thinking, what is this gang?
Yeah, who
like,
are they? How are they intimidating people?
Yeah. Like imagine them going about like a couple of bats and just like, I want me money now, please. Oh, man, that's not Liverpool.
Yeah, mate, I want me money.
That is not. We know my name's Ryan. You know, good default one's Paul McCartney. Can you do Paul McCartney? Anyone do Paul McCartney?
Hey, I'm Paul McCartney.
Somewhat.
No,
That's what John Lennon does.
Thick Scouts is like, yeah, right, man. That's Thick Scouts. I want a can of Coke. You know?
No, that's Welsh.
Fuck off. Fuck off, John Lennon. Talking about imagine this and imagine that.
That's Irish. That's
that was Welsh,
Republican.
actually. that was Democrat.
No, that's Irish, not
Republican. I love this drink.
English. right. But obviously he siphoned off 200 million. So the person who took over was some fuck right? Some woman, right? And the reason this is important, this is an important council, because, right, how many...
That kid's a proper nice.
No, let's stop talking about the fucking TV, because nobody can see it. Right, the Tory presence in Liverpool. Does anyone have an idea of how much Tory presence is?
Imagine prior.
Well, yeah.
Imagine prior to this election, it wasn't much.
There's 68 councillors, how many are Tory?
Don't know. I would guess few.
0.
Yeah.
Absolutely 0. Majority Labour, and the second biggest Lib Dem, third Green, and fourth Independent. And the reason it's important is because the wider council, as per a report from fucking Max Collar, it's called a Max Collar report that came out about Liverpool City Council, exposing them for being basically deplorable, corrupt bastards. The lot of them. And this report was widely circulated in the Liverpool Echo, which is obviously a bit of background on Liverpool. They don't have tabloid journalism there.
Oh yeah, the
Sun's not very popular. Express isn't very popular. Daily Mail isn't. Obviously because of what happened in the 80s with football hooliganism, and obviously the coverage of Hillsborough was pretty deplorable from the Sun especially. So they're not that popular. So they've got their local newspapers. I mean, sort of news source. And this was obviously it's a very popular paper there, more than like the Echo in Sunderland. The Sunderland Echo wasn't very widely circulated, but so obviously everyone read these reports about the corruption in it. And the reason it could be important is because Lib Dem feel that they could take it. They could take the whole council. So there's 56 Labour candidates that are currently there, and all are up. All are up. And there's like about 9 or 8 Lib Dem, and they feel they can make a big step up because of the amount of corruption and everyone's disillusioned with the council. And also, a lot of the councillors there are Remain councillors in a Leave area, which obviously makes them just undesirable to leave.
I don't think Liverpool's a Leave area. I think all the major cities vote Remain.
I think Liverpool voted Remain.
Might have to fact check that one.
Yeah,
I think most major cities did.
Right, Liverpool.
That's to say, I'm just fucking news.
Liverpool have been ardently Labour since the 70s, 60s actually. Just never ever changed in the councils and in the local MPs. They changed twice they changed once in the Thatcher era, and then one time there was no clear leader of the council party was. So, yeah, they've been pretty strongly Labour for such a long time. And if they maybe get switched, I mean, they won't get switched to Tory. Yeah. Tories don't stand chance in Liverpool ever. Hopefully actually, I'll say hopefully then.
you know. No, to be fair, I wouldn't say if the Lib Dems do make big gains there, the main thing it shows is just Labour being weak. It wouldn't. I mean, obviously, it's not we're not going to see a Lib Dem takeover for councils nationwide.
No.
But it would show.
It could.
Lib Dem. I don't know.
The only other alternative choice in Liverpool is usually a Lib Dem candidate. So.
Oh no, in Liverpool, yeah. But I mean, like that wouldn't be an indication for the nation.
No, it wouldn't. But if Lib Dem could in the next general election, if they do well in these council elections and then they build on that strength, in the next general election they could actually have a good platform to step up from and take Liverpool. They're taking a major city.
Yeah.
They
could probably get more seats there. I'd say the Lib Dems are probably in a better position now than they were in 2019 because after 2016 their whole position was we're the anti-Brexit party, we're the party that will just say no referendum, we're just cancelling it.
Yeah.
So now that Brexit's done, as long as they don't stand on the platform of let's rejoin the EU, I think the Lib Dems could maybe be credible opposition again, but especially with how weak Labour is.
I don't think they will stand on that platform.
Yeah, if they have any sense, they would.
I think Labour are quietly willing to die with the Brexit issue. And you know what? You know what annoys me with them as well? They're not like willing to die in the fact that they're ardently Remain. They're just willing to die.
Yeah, they're just willing to die on just it's a bit wishy-washy. We don't have any real position.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're willing to die on this issue. That is past. Except, obviously, we're getting the Hartlepool. But the main thing that annoys me about the Hartlepool candidate who's standing for Labour, he's a Remainer in a completely. I mean, I think it was like 60-40, huge percentage difference. Leave area.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like at that point, it's not even a question of what do you think was politics. It's like there are a lot of different Labour candidates you could choose for that area. It's if you have any common sense, if you actually have any desire to be elected, then you would pick someone who isn't a Remainer for Hartlepool. Of course,
of course. You know? I mean, even the guy in Hartlepool, I'm pretty sure it's like a big Remainer as well. Like, very, very pro Remain. So putting him. Or is it her?
It's him. Yeah.
It's him.
He's a piece of shit. Yeah.
Right. Him. It's like I listened and then I just fucking went back. No. Putting that person in charge. I went from him to that
person. Now it's gone binary.
To that person.
Folks.
To this folk. Okay. To put a Remainer. They're clearly so out of touch. Keir Starmer's Labour is so out of touch.
No, I mean that's
with the North.
I was going to say it's a nice segue into the Hartlepool talk. We haven't even done the council talk properly yet. So.
Well, we'll go on to some of the other councils. We'll get down.
I'll cover one more topic with you, and then I'll probably go back.
Alright, we'll cover the Hartlepool topic now. We'll go back to it. Richie's going to leave soon, so then it'll just be me on for an hour or so. But the Hartlepool council election. I mean, I'm having a fuck up right now. You know, I'm
need some coke.
Yeah, I need. That helped in the US election. Think about it. But the Hartlepool election is occurring because
it's occurring.
It's occurring because the guy who was running, I think Henry
Kissinger, he was non.
It's something Hill. It's something Hill. I look like I haven't researched
King
of.
Harry.
It's something Hill. Okay, and he had to resign, I think in December.
He was charged with third degree noncery.
First degree paedophilia. He was charged. No, he wasn't a paedo. No, allegedly. Allegedly, he was a paedophile.
Third degree paedophilia.
no, right. He was charged with sexual harassment and sexual assault on his lower downs in his council. You know, just like the office workers that work for him, young women. The funny thing about him, we talked about this before we came on, but he got removed. He's decided to stand down in that position in September 2019 on the run up to 2019 general election. Then came back to that position in October. Labour reinstated him, even though they knew the allegations surrounding him.
Yeah.
He then stepped down in January. Okay. No. He then stepped down in January again because Labour knew this was untenable. Plus, got arrested.
Yeah.
It's just that you can't save your proof from it. So that's why this by-election has actually been called. And we've told the replacement candidates are removed.
It's a funny thing with this election. There's a lot of rape going on in it because obviously the guy who stood down was a nonce. There was an independent candidate who was forced to stand down. But he was on the ballot to begin with. He had taken a 62-second video of an unconscious woman who was completely naked in a hotel room, right?
Yeah.
It's a horrible story. And then the woman woke up and she said that she'd been drugged and raped by this guy who she didn't know. I think his name was Stephen Miller, something like that. And then went and told the police. This guy has a video of this woman naked in her hotel room. She says she's been drugged and raped. It seems like a pretty open and shut case. That guy got a 30-month community order and had to pay a £2,000 fine
for raping.
For raping.
I mean, I assume as well he's drugged her.
Yeah.
I assume unconscious, or is he's got already drunk?
No, that's what she'd said, was that she'd been drugged.
Drugged, right? So rehypnol, some shit like that. Oh my god.
Yeah, and he was standing for election before Sunday.
30-month community order.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's standing.
No, he's been forced to stand down.
Oh, right.
But he just didn't declare it.
What's his politics?
I don't know. He was just an independent.
That really matters, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah.
No, it's like your politics kind of becomes irrelevant when you're exposed to being a pedo.
Yeah.
Or like a
no, the thing is that's how it should be, but then it just isn't because Biden versus
Trump. And then like Boris.
Yeah, and then
eventually
Theresa May.
Theresa May non-stop Philip.
But no, the Hyper by-election is horrible. Really, I don't think we said this on the podcast already that Tories have a 17% lead, 50%.
Yeah, we said that.
Yeah, 50% the vote in Hartlepool, absolutely insane. Has been a Labour constituency since 1964.
Yes.
And I'll segue this into the question because the fact that the Labour Party is losing there is unbelievable. Like, it's genuinely like this. Just if a general election happened now, then it's just Tory dictatorship. Really.
Yeah, no. The Tories would get a majority, a Blair majority.
Yeah. No, it's like beyond Blair.
Yeah,
like it's fucking. You know what I mean?
Insane.
So the question is, now we've talked about some of the mistakes the Labour Party made. So, for example, the candidate there's a Remainer. The Keir Starmer had the Labour Party candidates for the region. He gave them 1 day to submit applications. Didn't talk to the local Labour Party at all, and then just said, "Oh, this guy Paul something, whatever his name is running shitty Remainer." So very out of touch, very terrible. The guy also said that he tweeted out something like, "Who's your favourite Tory MILF?" Which is like nice one, Keir. Yeah. But so the question is, given how fucking abysmal,
who is your favourite Tory? That's the weird. She's thinking, who is my favourite Tory MILF?
Well, Margaret Thatcher. To be fair, it's causes.
Yeah, Iron Lady.
Yeah, she can give me an Iron Lady, you know.
No. It's gotta be
Boris Johnson.
I do sing with him, honestly.
Yeah, no, I'd get his Brexit done. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say you can shut my chest out. No, I'm telling you, right? Boris Johnson can have his way.
Yeah, Boris Johnson has fucking unlimited access to my fishing waters.
But
you know
the thing is, though, if he showed up to this arrangement
to your bedroom.
with me, no, if he showed up to my bedroom to this arrangement, I was like, we're gonna do the stuff, right? And then he went, he was bald. I'd love to
He does, yeah. Oh, okay, but the question is, the one that Richie can get involved before he gets to bed is, if Labour lose Hartlepool, and if they have a pretty poor performance in general across council elections, should Keir Starmer resign? I'll leave it open. Richie first. I'll give you peace.
Do you reckon we should say goodbye to Keir?
I think if there's a more promising candidate who's ready and perhaps more importantly wants to take over, they've got the charisma to do that and actually make something happen in the Labour Party, because they've just been doing shit for successive elections. If someone else is ready to take the mantle of leading the Labour Party, then get rid of him. If not, though, they might just have to stick with him at least for one election.
Yeah. Alright, in all fairness,
just sad.
I think Keir should stand in, but I've no clue who to replace him, because you've got David Miliband could be an option.
Yeah.
Right? Ed Miliband is in his cabinet. That is fucking weird. Yeah. Ed Miliband is in his cabinet.
That is a bad sign.
Yeah, that's just a...
Looking back, Ed Miliband doesn't seem so bad though, does he?
Yeah, he does. He seems just as worse as him.
He seems like Keir Starmer.
We had this really brilliant thing in between them, but he could never win elections.
Yeah. No, the fucking... in terms of people who could...
to just say one thing, running for mayor. Piers Corbyn's running for mayor.
Oh yeah,
Keep
yeah,
London alive. No, let London live.
It's
It's just brilliant. Yeah. You're irrelevant considering it's about COVID restriction and it's lifting in a month. So you're just lifting this.
You pure lift. But in terms of people who could replace Keir, options that I could get behind is like Rebecca Long Bailey, who's like sort of a young female Corbyn sort of. She's Corbynista,
Cars who caught it.
It's kind of, yeah. But I don't know if she has the kind of track record. One of the good things about Corbyn was that he had a very long track record. He had a very extremely long, extremely consistent.
50 years.
Yeah, very, very consistent track record opposing imperialism, that sort of thing. With Rebecca Long Bailey, I don't know if she has the kind of clout within the party to actually do that, but I would support
she
her.
doesn't have the clout to get it
Yeah,
forward.
which is a shame. I could support John McDonnell. On the other hand, I could support John McDonnell. But I don't know if I'd support him as leader because he has even more shit than Corbyn that the media can judge up to.
That's the thing. It's sad now because I feel like the Tories have moved past this. The Tories could put anybody in, and they could have a horrendous history, and they will just win. But if Labour really need to be tactical, like, does this guy have a bad history? That's why Keir is a good candidate in that sense. He cannot win elections, and he's a fucking damn rag of a personality, and his politics is fucking deplorable, and he's a fucking lackey for the place. I've just listed off loads of negatives. The one positive is he's clean in the media. He doesn't have a controversial.
The terrible things about him are the kind of things that media don't pick up, like obviously the stuff he did.
The prosecution, the IOP stuff. Being a bit of a lackey for the coppers.
And like that's theoretically the good thing about Starmer, but the negative is that he's just so absolutely plain and uninspiring, and just like it's just atrocious. Yeah, so he's the fourth way. He's like not even good enough to be Tony Blair. You know what I mean?
No, the thing is, like, we really have a burning hatred for Tony Blair, but Tony Blair at least could.
Tony Blair was
get it going.
He was good at politics.
Things can only get. No, genuinely, right? That video got everyone. If you, I mean, we weren't alive in 96, 97 when that was happening, when he was running. But the thing, if you ask anybody from the 90s who grew up in that era and could vote, they go, I remember Things Can Only Get Better. Video, it was a big thing, big promotion. I think I've asked somebody in my family who was older than us, and they went, I remember Things Can Only Get Better thing from him.
No, I mean Tony Blair was also the candidate at the right time. You know what I mean? And that's one thing Labour doesn't. Labour doesn't have that at the minute. Well, to be honest, we do. It should be great timing. I mean, we told us
COVID crisis. Fucking grandson.
The horrible amount of sleaze just in general.
Yeah. PPE, right? Boris Johnson's background is fucking dodgy, forcing abortions on his fucking. Was it Carrie Simmons or his ex? Some shit like that, right? He fucking. You remember about? I think when he just got elected in 2019, or maybe when he just got in after Theresa May left in June. The controversy when the police were phoned to his house.
Oh yeah, they having a big argument.
Glasses smashed. Yeah, it's like, all right, what's happened there? Just this obvious like history and what he said, but that doesn't really matter, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, really.
It did matter with Corbyn though. Really mattered. It really mattered that in one interview he said he's friends with Hamas, but the fact Corbyn said horribly homophobic shit. I mean, not Johnson.
Boris Johnson.
Boris Johnson. I fucking.
No, the fact that Boris Johnson said that black people have watermelon smiles. Fucking who cares? It's just like.
No, but oh, God forbid, Corbyn said he was friends with Hamas, which up for debate what he meant there as well.
Yeah, well, no.
And apologised for the statement. Has Boris apologised at all? I don't think it really fucking
the thing is,
I'm not honest, he must apologise.
The thing is, he might have apologised, but it was barely in the news in the first place. So
exactly. But what else did Corbyn do? Ride a fucking bike?
Yeah, he rode a Miles bicycle.
he rode a bike, same as Boris, who rides. London Mayor thing was
Boris bikes.
Boris bikes, but because Corbyn rode a bike that looked like it was Mao Zedong the bike. I've never saw a picture of Mao Zedong riding a bike.
Yeah, no, he swam. He was a swimmer.
He loves swimming. Well, Corbyn hated swimming, so he's
exactly.
No, and you know what? Another thing as well, the anti-Semitism thing, it's constantly tarnished with Labour, and maybe there was some
No, I mean,
bellied evidence of it. Corbyn was not the problem.
Yeah, Corbyn probably maybe didn't take enough action against it, but it's been weaponised to paint Corbyn himself as this raging anti-Semite. He's just anti-Israel, and you know what? Yeah. That's fine, man.
Yeah. No, that's a fine political position.
I just don't think it helped as a coincidence that he was anti-Israel while the party, but not him in general, was going through like a huge anti-Semitism crisis.
No, it wouldn't have
like those two things don't align very well.
No, it didn't help at all. No, that's nonsense though, actually.
Well, I think you can understand how people conflate Israel and
wait. Let me tell you about the pro-Israelis and their anti-Semitic friends. Okay?
I haven't seen this video. To be honest, what is this?
What?
This is fine.
Zizek.
I have gone to that bit.
Oh, right. Basically, well, the thing is, with people being insanely pro-Israel in the West, they're usually fucking raging anti-Semites.
What?
Usually, yeah. And anti-Semites support Israel. They like the idea of Israel. They love Israel because it's separate to you.
No, there was a great. Wasn't a great video.
Breivik talked about this.
No, I'm not surprised. Yeah, but there was a video. I can't remember. It was just an alt-right video. Went up on YouTube, and it was like, "What would Hitler say if he came back alive today?" And the video was about how what Hitler would do to get rid of the Jews. He would go to Israel and he would start telling them to open their borders and let multicultures in, and then they'll like rape and murder all the Israelis. Anti-Semites love the way Israel. Enacts basically a sort of Jewish ethno-state sort of thing. So,
No. And anti-Semites see Israel as a model.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they don't like the fact they're Jews. Okay, they believe they're genetically very this, that, and the other. Right? If you're a genuine neo-Nazi, or if you're quite far right, but they completely respect the political model they have there in how basically I think it's largely homogenous, which is a word they love for around, right? I think it's plus 90%. It's got to be.
Well, in terms of like people who are actually citizens, it would
who are Jewish, right? They obviously are currently attempting, to pretty genocide.
They're not
Palestinians. No, they are actually doing UN-style genocide against Palestinians. UN
definition.
Yeah, UN definition of relocating.
Oh my God!
destroying their housing and everything like that, right? And neo-Nazis sit back and love this, and this Breivik loved Israel, right? And I don't know, right? That could, if this got big, right? That could be clipped up and I'd be cancelled, right? But
I'd say the neo-Nazi community can be pretty split on this though, because let's be honest, there's probably just as many neo-Nazis who hate and blame everything in world politics to do with Israel.
No, they do.
Against globalism and against Israel.
They blame things
and
on
they
Israel.
want Israel to be destroyed.
No, they blame things on Israel, but they love the model of Israel's politics in terms of how they treat.
Maybe the politics, but they probably don't want Israel to exist. Is worth clarifying.
No,
a ton of right-wing people just want Israel to be fucking destroyed by the Middle East.
Some of the faces of the right wing actually do love Israel.
Yeah. Well, also, I mean,
Lawrence Southern, Paul Joseph Watson, Trump, right? But I'm not saying Trump was a neo-Nazi, by the way, right? I don't think he was. But Trump, for example, fairly, he was quite to the right. Good say with Trump. Stefan Molyneux, right? I mean, this is YouTubers, I know. I'm pretty sure Richard Spencer is pro-Israel over Palestine.
They're probably all paid off by Israel.
Oh yeah, that's George Soros' money getting funded from him.
Even Hitler wanted to create Israel, but on Madagascar. So.
Yeah, exactly. But the intention there is that they'd all die because they live on the land. No, but obviously
that's cruel.
It's nonsense that Corbyn was ever an anti-Semite. I mean, I believe he was an active. I do think he was an active. But I think the media frenzy about it was ridiculous. And the media coverage, we're watching BBC Weather with Chris Fawkes right now, but the BBC News...
The way they cover this weather is just disgusting.
But the BBC News corporation is horrific. Because and I know the idea of
we all know what it really stands for.
Media coverage is everyone will argue their bias, but the BBC against Jeremy Corbyn's position. I'm not even saying the BBC are left or right, but they were anti-Corbyn.
Yeah, they photoshopped an image of him to make him look red.
To make him look like a Soviet.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure they had the Kremlin in the background of the picture and everything. He has the greyish cap on.
They photoshopped. They put red filter over it and everything.
Yes, exactly. Lauren Kusenberg, who is a BBC correspondent, is horribly anti-Corbyn and then insanely pro-Johnson. Throughout the pandemic when they weren't listening to Sage, she was defending Johnson at every corner. and she's the main political editor and commentator who's on every.
And if you read BBC, I read the BBC a fair bit. They do good reporting on some things. Obviously, they're BBC, yeah. But if you read their articles, Lauren Kusenberg's opinions, it'll be listed as analysis, are basically just presented within a actual news article, so it looks like it's just fact reporting, you know? It's basically a way of explaining it, or sort of filtering the information in a way that people can find understandable, but it's done mainly by Laura Kusenberg?
Yeah,
right?
Kusenberg.
Yeah, Kusenberg.
Pro-Tory.
Who's pro-Tory, who's at the very least very anti-Corbyn. So.
Yeah.
I mean, this is something I've thought for a while, is that there are only two ways you can really go with any Labour leader, and it's, on the one hand, you can lose the working class and appeal to, you know, sort of middle class, upper class people, and you'll be treated fine by the media. That was Blair. That was, you know, he lost any real appeal to working class ideas, but he was a fucking media darling. Yeah. Or you can be Corbyn and you can actually try and build a sort of semi-populist, mass-based, working-class constituency, but then you get shredded by the media. And you have to go in one way or the other if you want to get elected, and Keir Starmer, his problem is that he's stuck right in the middle. He can't do either.
Yeah, no, he's stuck so firmly in the middle, he's just going to kill us. Yeah, he's pretty much... I mean, I think I read a Guardian article earlier on, which was questioning whether Labour are in a worse position than they were under Michael Foot in the 1980s, and I think they are.
Yeah,
I think they are, because, you know, at least with Michael Foot in 1983, longest suicide note in history, they still had the core of their ideals there, and they still had that working class voter base. The North was still ardent.
Michael Foot would never have lost Hartlepool. Not in a million fucking years.
Never.
Yeah, and you know what? People, I mean, Michael Foot's been kind of forgotten in history. He's the longest suicide note in history. His longest footnote.
Referring to his manifesto that he wrote was insanely socialist.
Yeah, but you know, as a character like Michael Foot would be brilliant. You know, in fact, if Jeremy Corbyn had the same charisma and the same wit as someone like Michael Foot, he didn't have
the charisma. He had the charisma. He didn't have the charisma to get new voters on side. He had his base. He's sort of like Trump, but without the majority of the people of him. He's like Trump. He has that charisma. Everybody.
He didn't really appeal to the masses, did he? Or like the average. Well, I don't know.
Well, he did.
I don't know, did he really? I feel like Corbyn was more popular than like any other recent Labour leader with like students and maybe a lot of middle class people, but he did evidently lose a lot of the working class base somehow.
In 2019 he did. That was because of Brexit though.
Yeah,
that's a separate... He did not lose it because of policy. Never get that. He did not lose the working class base because of policy.
No.
He lost it because of
Brexit. Probably,
and that's one of his shortcomings.
It probably would have been wiser for him, even if he didn't fully believe it, to get the party behind Brexit.
I was going to...
That was probably
he
his
should
biggest
have been
mistake.
pro-Brexit.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been going, you know, and maybe he had the most logical approach to it, but he shouldn't have been going in 2019 on the run-up to election. Well, we'll have a second referendum, and we'll... what was the idea? It's like, we'll have a second referendum, then we'll have and if we vote yes again, we'll have another referendum
on the deal.
It's like... Good idea.
Yeah, but brilliant idea. It's the most logical, most rational approach. It's the only approach that actually makes sense when we have this whole mess of like, well, what did referendum mean? It doesn't matter. It's about
irrelevant in
it's good. It's good policy, but bad politics.
Yeah, terrible politics. And that's the thing I always say. Corbyn should have backed Brexit in the end. I'm not saying he has to be insanely pro-Brexit and start whipping out Brexit documentaries, you know, about the pillars and all that, right? But he could have just said, look, we're going to leave. We're going... If he'd done that, the Tories would be the one in this position. If he decided, if he went, I'm pro-Brexit, then the media couldn't whip up a frenzy about it, and the Telegraph couldn't be fucking boosting propaganda every day, Express, Daily Mail, which all the popular ones are son. If he'd done that, you would have saw people actually look at Corbyn's policies, and people would have fucking loved his policies, because his policies were actually magnificent.
And they were absolutely the kind of things that if you've spent any time around working class people in the North, what do you hear? It's like, oh, well, back in the day when we had manufacturing, things were much better. Back in the day when we had shipbuilding, things were much better. Back in the day when just before Thatcher, you know, when the UK was the sort of I don't know what you'd call it, much more state capitalist, much more Keynesian, which is really the main body of what Corbyn was offering, was effectively a Keynesian approach to economics. With the socialist element was really just the co-op stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Co-ops and...
would that have been the right way to go though?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Would that have been the right way to take the economy and deviate it from what it's known as now? It's like a very much market-based economy. That would have been.
I mean, a lot of it was
bringing back the industry.
Well, a lot of it was just bringing the UK more in line with mainstream European politics.
The stock markets might not have responded well to this, to be fair.
Fuck them. They didn't suck my cum.
Yeah. I know you're joking and playing devil's advocate. I hope you are.
That being said,
but not when I lose interest when anyone's speaking and they go, yeah, but what about the stock market?
Yeah.
What about the corporations? Please think of the corporations.
Yeah. Like, somebody please think of the corporations.
In fairness, though, I don't know if it's viable to bring back a lot of industries to the UK when, like, say, China, for example, can just do them so much cheaper. Which was obviously the reason why.
I mean, that's not that, but like that's the sentiment you get from working class people is that they hark back to a time when the UK was in a much more
but the thing is, though, he could not bring back steel. Obviously, you're not going to do that because you're outcompeted. What he could with the worker co-op thing, though, he could have brought a sense of civic pride and democracy in the way you work. You know, even if it's just sector-based work.
And nationalisation as well was extremely popular for
and his economic
football supporters would fucking love that. And you know what? If you'd go up to them and go, "Oh yeah, Corbyn agreed with 50+1 rule," a lot of them would go, "Fucking right."
Yes, if only they'd actually been told about it, then
Corbyn was in favour of public ownership of your football club.
Of the means of football.
Yeah. And what football fan wouldn't fucking love that? I love the idea of that. I could ask my whole family and they love the idea of that. But because it was a Corbyn policy in a time that Brexit dominated everything and it fucking shouldn't have.
Now you just slap the word communist on it and everyone turns away. It's like
no, but you couldn't. I think if Corbyn even went further left, I mean, like John McDonnell was further left to Corbyn. At least openly. I think he was. I think he called himself.
He read out Mao's Red Book in Parliament.
Right.
It's fucking amazing.
Maybe you shouldn't do that. Mao's Red Book, but the Beatles song.
Oh yeah.
That makes you seem like a bit of a caricature. But even if he was John McDonald, sort of
McDonald.
John
McDonald had a flag.
Even if he was John Burger King, right? Even if he was that brand of just far left politics, you would still keep a base. Especially in northern constituencies, especially in working class areas,
it's like,
you would still keep.
What is the Labour Party's base now?
Nothing.
It's
middle class white people from London.
Yeah, that
is it.
Yeah, it's them. And it's
to be frank, I don't give a fuck about them. Piece of shit.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I don't care about them.
No, the Labour Party should, and it was, and then it wasn't after Blair. It should always be the party of the working class. It's called the fucking Labour Party.
Yeah, exactly. It always should be for the working class. And now, right, the Labour Party is shitting themselves, thinking, wait, we need to get a whole of London. Maybe we could beat the Tories in Oxford, and they actually could, because obviously a lot of people in Oxford were Remainers, and that's still an issue in fucking British politics. If a general election happened in a year's time, it would still be the same fucking problem.
It'd be about Brexit.
Yeah, it would be about Brexit, and Brexit doesn't matter now. It's done, and Remainers and Leave voters need to accept how it happened, because some Leave voters won't accept it. Yeah. Some would in the comment, no deal.
If only we'd had the right deal, it would have been fine.
Yeah. It's like, let's just all accept it and move on. And when we move on, Labour can return. Labour cannot return in like a post-Brexit political climate where it still already matters. They can't, because of the pussyfooting around the Labour Party done in 2019-2017 regarding Brexit. If they now completely rebrand themselves, go, you know what, we accept Brexit fully, we'll get rid of Kerr, and we'll get a genuine populist left-wing socialist in, like Corbyn, like McDonnell, like Diane Abbott. No, that's a joke. Right?
Like Tony Blair.
then you can see majorities return.
Yeah.
And what moral Labour candidate, especially being in that party for years like Keir Starmer, probably, I think he has been, how can you morally go, let's target Oxford in 2024?
Yeah.
I mean, imagine the state of things that we're targeting. The Labour Party is targeting Oxford.
Yeah, it's fucking
central London.
No, the thing is, there is a way they can target them. And this, if I watched Clement Attlee's fucking party broadcast for might be the 1950 election, and he'd said something like, "Well, why should middle class people?"
He did lose this election.
No, but he won the fucking. He won with the popular vote.
Yeah.
But he'd said why should middle class people vote for a socialist party like us? Why should middle class people vote for a party that is based around furthering the interests of the working class. And he said that fundamentally the appeal of the Labour Party was a moral appeal, and that it was a moral appeal too. Cause,
I think I know this.
Yeah, and middle class people, they can have morals. They don't. No, they can have morals, and a lot of the left wing people, especially now coming out of university, are middle class, and the Labour Party can have a moral appeal to those people and say, look, it is fucking fundamentally wrong that there are 3,000 sale people dying fucking a year from Tory policy. If they actually tried to strike that chord with the middle class, I think they could have an appeal, and it worked. It did. Obviously, he didn't win the election because of first past the post in 1950, but Clement Attlee did win the popular vote, and should have been. And Churchill was a fraud, and we should fucking go back and tear down all the statues and kill him.
Controversial.
It's controversial.
Richard Madison opinions on that.
But and the Labour Party could appeal broadly to the whole society through that moral appeal. And while retaining the working class.
Wait, not just moral appeal though. The Labour Party could have an economic appeal to most of the middle class. If you're talking about increased business taxes, stopping tax evasion of like wealthy billionaires and things, that money could easily help all of society and go towards, maybe perhaps more importantly, not just the class groups themselves, but public infrastructure that everyone supports, such as transport, NHS, stuff like that. That could easily be an appeal of Labour if they could bother their arse to do that.
You know what a true nationalist would vote for? They'd vote for a socialist.
A true nationalist would be a socialist.
No, that's quite funny. But no, I'm not even joking. If you truly love your country, vote for a left-wing candidate.
What was it? It's an Edmund Burke quote. It was in a Loner Box video. If we are to love our country ought to be lovely.
Alright, yeah.
The thing is, Keir Starmer's been talking about how he wants to bring back a left-wing kind of patriotism, or like, I can't remember the word. It's basically a responsible patriotism, a non-racist, semi-left-wing.
Funeral pyres in India because they can't bury everyone.
That's fucked up.
Absolutely boring. But this isn't a COVID podcast. We've never done a COVID podcast.
Yeah, we've never done a corncast.
Well, we'll wait for the storm to blow over so it's not so raw in our viewers' minds.
What was I saying?
Better quote.
So Keir Starmer's been trying to go for this left-wing patriotism, and it doesn't work fundamentally because he's not telling anyone. I haven't seen a single promise by Keir Starmer like, okay, here's what we're going to do to improve the situation on the ground. Here's what we're going to do to improve the NHS.
No. What is Keir Starmer? What is Keir Starmer? I was going to say, what is Posy? What is Keir Starmer?
I mean,
in 2015. I mean, I wasn't massively into politics in 2015. But I still knew. I didn't have to even research. I didn't have to wait for a Labour manifesto. I knew what Corbyn was.
Yeah.
I knew Corbyn was left-wing socialist. I knew that from just his name and his reputation throughout, political history in this country. If you say Dennis Skinner and you have any slight interest in politics, you know what he is. Yeah. You know what he represents automatically. With Keir Starmer, I don't have a clue.
Yeah, the thing is, with Dennis Skinner, just his style, just his praxis in politics tells you all you need to know about him. Yeah. Even his accent tells you what you need to know about his position. Yeah. And with Keir Starmer, it's like, well, he doesn't have any political identity yet. He's a lawyer. This
is what I said to you. I thought it was quite a good point. He's a sir.
Yeah.
Can a sir ever truly win the North?
Mm-hmm. No. Should a sir even be allowed to stand in the Labour Party?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it's completely with his choice. Labour got scared with Corbyn losing 3 elections, and they didn't double down. They didn't double down and go, well, what was Corbyn's shortcomings? Because people loved the policy. The party, the people who join the party who can vote on Labour leader fucking love Jeremy Corbyn, right? Students, he could actually. I mean, it's very hard to mobilise young people to vote, but I think he was hitting a chord there nearly, right? He was nearly hitting a chord. He was beloved through, what's the part of the Labour Party that he was most popular in? Momentum, yeah, right. Massive, okay? Mobilise students and mobilise young people to actually get involved in politics. If they just waited one more election, I think Corbyn could have won.
I think, like you said though, I feel like Corbyn has a natural aversion to the idea. But it probably would have been really smart for him to try and store up some sort of left-wing patriotism. I'm assuming he's really against even the word itself, though.
But it's not bad. It's not bad to maybe playing.
I feel like you can have good examples of patriotism, it just so happens that patriotism in its natural state seems to be like owned by the right wing.
Yeah.
Like as a concept, it's entirely owned
but
by.
especially like I don't think that's historically true.
No, definitely
it's not historically.
I don't know when the right took patriotism, but they have.
I think since the turn of the 2010s, really, and like with Trump, I think Trump really pushed that as like a right wing thing.
I guess if
but then
anything,
again, you can argue the right isn't patriotist, patriotic, they're nativist.
Yeah.
More than anything, which isn't
yeah,
patriotic at all. But they call it
they call it patriotism because it works.
Yeah, and people.
Because everyone loves a patriot.
Yeah, and people. I mean, and to be honest, you could bring patriotism back from a left wing perspective. Say if you're anti-monarchy, you can go, these fucking monarchists piece of shit yous have never met and look down on you. They're a piece of shit. They're
These
taking
are not
our
common
country.
No, the
You can
fundamental
tackle
thing.
patriotism from the
Imagine how much better Britain could be if we just took all these crown lands and turned them into useful things.
Yeah, exactly, and more. You know, generate more revenue and more jobs for the average person.
I think you could put a comment from the direction of those fuckers aren't British. They don't represent Britain.
Yes.
Fundamentally, if you want to be a left-wing patriot, you should be talking about getting working-class people into the institutions that actually run the country, because that's what Britain really is. You know,
Yes.
we have a country where 1 in 5 people are below the poverty line. So to get working-class people into institutions is real patriotism.
Yes, that's that. And if you tackle it from that perspective, and don't be scared of the word patriotic. That has been a word that's been corrupted, right? And the media would come after you more than they'd come after the right-wing patriots who carry a bit of racist ideas in them, and you know, far-right horrific ideas, right? They'd come after the left-wing patriot more. You can guarantee it. Even the objective ones, you know, Guardian. Say the Guardian would.
Yeah.
I was very disillusioned by the Guardian how they were after during the Bristol riots.
Absolutely,
when they fucking basically they report that bullshit claim that 20 police officers injured, and then they done a tiny little follow up. Oh, none were actually injured. They completely lied. You know,
but who's the Guardian doing this for? Because they are funded by their readers.
Well,
but you got to remember the Guardian's like middle class readers.
Yeah, they're owned by middle class white liberals.
Yeah. It's white liberals. So white liberals are completely
Actually,
averse to violence.
I don't imagine many working class people do read the Guardian.
No, they probably get annoyed by it.
They probably read a tabloid, and that's the reality.
No, like I mean, I've got a good bit to go off with my family who's like not right wing, like they're just like, and I'm being honest here. I come from a very working class background, very chavvy, right? And they're like. Actually are nothing politics.
No, they're mega politics.
Yeah, they're not nothing politics. They're fucking politics on crack.
They've managed
left and right.
They've managed to adopt all the positions at once beyond centrism.
Like this is something we want. I won't drop who in my family does this, but there's one person in my family who's pro-trans and lesbian rights, but is against gay rights. It's so bizarre. And they like love. They love and hate Muslims at the same time. It's very community based. It's very tribalist, in the sense that if you're part of the group and we like you, we ignore everything racially about you. But if you aren't, then you're the other, and we dislike.
No, it's, well, you know, I won't say it was, but there was. I think we might have mentioned this funny anecdote on the podcast before, but someone in your family was talking to all of us while we were around, and talking about how, you know, she didn't like brown people, right? Yeah. She didn't think brown people should be in government. You know, doesn't like I won't say the word P words in the government. One thing that she said, you know, I wouldn't stand for election in Pakistan, so they shouldn't stand for election here. 5 minutes later, she tells us that she is going to a mosque at some point in the future. She's going to a mosque to protest, but not against the mosque. She's going to protest against the EDL to protect the Muslims.
Exactly. It's nonsense politics. It's just insane politics. It's like fucking crack addict politics. It's just, I don't know. It's like, you know, I don't know. I think people know I take drugs. I've took a big line of coke before, and I taught it my cousin, and I was just fucking shitting on about literally nothing. It was just, this next thing, fucking nonsense. I think I was talking about fucking how whiskey's made, and I had no clue how whiskey's made. I was just making it up, right? Bullshitting him completely. And that's what I feel that politics is. It's like you're holding suit to like completely opposed opinions, but yet
there's
you
no
have
contradiction.
Conviction.
There's no contradiction in that mind.
No, but you have conviction. You genuinely believe this. Like, and you know what? If we do get any sort of fucking idiotic liberals listening to this going, well, they said that because I think this is another problem with the whole liberal establishment. We thought about this. especially Labour, Blairite sort of politics, middle class white people, have no clue how working class people talk and act in their opinions. So when they hear a working class person use the P word, oh, you can't say that. You can't say that. It's like
bigoted woman.
It's like exactly. And it's like, right, if I'm talking to somebody in my family who holds fairly right wing views and then occasionally very left wing views, right, and they say that word, I'm not the type of fucking idiot to go, actually you can't say that.
It's just the way a lot of people talk.
And you know what?
And while wrong, maybe on a moral level, it's not the battles we should be fighting at the moment.
Exactly.
It's irrelevant.
It shouldn't be.
Maybe not entirely relevant.
Working class man. It is largely irrelevant though. It's like working class person. You shouldn't be saying that word.
No, because at that point you've lost them, and also you get sidetracked. At that point, you're no longer talking about the fundamental issues that they actually care about, which is about class fundament. They might not
economic.
No, you're taking the time to lecture them and then expecting them to vote for you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, here's why you're wrong. Vote for us.
You just referenced fucking Gordon Brown, bigoted woman. That sums up the
personifies
liberal white establishment in the UK, right? And it is white, right? And I'm not saying that like it's like
as a black man.
No. But I mean, like, I'm not saying that from like insane leftist goes crazy, hates white people. I do not. Like, I think that's.
I love white people.
I love white people. No, right? But I'm seeing it from the idea that it's always white people who get really annoyed by these like daft terms that some people.
No, and it's always middle class people, because middle class people have the privilege. The white middle class people have the white middle class privilege of being able to just sit and debate about whether or not we should use X, Y, and Z word. Whereas working class people, the issues that they actually care about, and oftentimes not knowing the exact name of the problem, which is class and which is capitalism, but the issues they care about are fundamentally economic. They might not have the right words to express it, and so but they don't give a shit about using the right words, and should you say
that's transphobic.
That's transphobic. We shouldn't say gypsy. It's like, sorry, if you went to a working class person and said, actually you should say Roma or traveller, like they fuck off. You're dead.
Because they've actually got like more pressing concerns than like their vocabulary. I believe it.
No. There's only one word that I'll go, you can't say that. Is the M word. That's the only word. And you know what? I never ever hardly hear any of my family say that. I've heard some really old people in my family say it, but that is like 80-year-old, right? And it's like, whatever. I don't care if you say it, because you're really, really set in your ways, and you're obviously just from it. And I know it's a very bad, sort of annoying sentence,
different time,
but you're from a different time, like completely. And,
it was alright.
No. When it's one-on-one. I mean, when people say that for Churchill, or like if somebody went, Hitler was from a different period, I would go, that's bollocks. He's a political leader. That you can judge him historically. If it's an individual, I'm just like, whatever. But I never heard anyone say the M word. That's the only word I would get annoyed about. I'd be like.
Never heard anyone say.
No. I've never heard anybody I know personally who's working class and has fairly right wing positions.
We've never said it.
We've never said it. I would never say the M word.
I would never say the M word.
I get cancelled if I said the M word.
Yeah, that's true. I've never said it.
Yeah. Or the F word.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, that's a naughty word.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the P word.
We're just getting cancelled. Who is pink? No, you know, the what was it? We're gonna, we'll do a podcast on this guy, Zizek, right? We'll do a podcast on him, right? Because we bumboy Zizek, is the honest truth.
Yeah, that is
I've got like a lot of his books.
I had to sit and listen to his lectures on the
you listen to his lectures. You're one of them. Left the Death Speak Its Name. Great book. He's just an entertaining guy, and obviously he hates like liberals. He really, it's almost like when I'm reading it, I feel a bit dirty because I was like, a right winger could read this and love it, but I don't actually, because to be honest, there's some right wing positions I quite sympathise with, not in their intention, in their end goal in it, but the actual sentiment, I do sympathise with a little bit. Being angry at the left wing.
Is he a controversial left thinker?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure most of the left wing doesn't like him.
Yeah, he's hated by like liberal left. He's hated by them. Yeah, he's very good. He said the M word.
Yeah,
he actually has said the M word.
But he had the pass, so it was alright.
Actually gave him the pass. Yeah. No, but obviously, you might have read this part in the book when there's a bunch of like rich New York and liberals talking in a room. and they're going on and on about like, oh, the race issues today, and then a black person comes in and talks about that issue, and then they go to each other. How dare this man think he can talk about this? How dare he think he can talk about this?
How dare he believe he is nothing?
Yeah, exactly. How dare he believe he's oppressed? We're talking about these issues that are really we're talking about these issues that are really important here, and that is the attitude of them all. That is the attitude of them all, and we need to treat this as like a cancer on the left wing, because it is just an utter cancer. It's spreading and spreading so quick that they're dying out. And yeah, Biden won in 2020, right? Whatever. That's not a win for the left.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a win for the moderates.
Biden won the apathy vote fundamentally.
No, Biden won through. If you know, well, you'll never hear the podcast. Let's not bring it up, right? Because I went missing. No names dropped. No. You'll never hear the podcast. But in that podcast, we were saying, I don't know who win. Looking back on it, it's fucking obvious Biden should have won. Cause I think we actually did say that, to be fair. We said, if Biden doesn't win this, it's idiotic. But at the same time, Trump's base is so strong. But looking back on it, how Biden didn't win, like Reagan level victory there, is fucking insane. And it shows in 2024, Biden and the Democrats are not secure. They're going to have a lot of fucking kickback in 2024.
God forbid Trump could run again.
It might be too old. I think he'd be too old.
No, the thing is, I feel like maybe the only person that Biden could have beaten in that election was Trump. But it's hard to say, because at the same time, it's like I don't know if any other Republican could have won but Trump in 2016.
No,
Trump had a big
I don't think anyone
like Ron DeSantis or Marco Rubio or Ted Cruz. Who the fuck? You know what I mean?
Jeb Bush.
No,
Ben Carson. Absolute joke.
Ben Carson. He had a proper weird voice. No, he had a proper weird voice. Listen, he sounds like a baby in a
man's body. Sounds like a baby in a lesbian's body.
Sounds like a baby in Jair Bolsonaro's body.
That is actually Bolsonaro on the TV, right? You'll love him.
Is that actually Bolsonaro?
I don't know. I think it is.
That is not Bolsonaro.
That is not Jair Bolsonaro. Come to think about it, he's got an American flag on him. No, but what were we saying there?
Trump, Biden.
Alright. Biden somehow didn't get out. Somehow only won the election like 12 fucking years after it ended, right? but he had Trump, who denied the severity of COVID, told them to. I mean, some of the things he actually done, looking back on it, are fucking hilarious. Because and this is not going to be jingoistic, but you would think, if I said some of the statements I'm about to say, you would think, oh, that's like in a proper shit country, that's like in a proper third world
country. Was in like a country where the president gets killed in battle.
Like what was that bar?
Chad,
I was going to say Bali. No, that's what you'd expect if you said that. Oh, that's like the Belarus. Because you know what? Could you say the Belarus guy was a bit confident? What was his name again?
Lukashenko.
Yeah. Right. So I'll say two of the statements, right? So which one said which? You already know, but I'll just do it because it's funny. One of them said that. What was it? That fucking the air part. No, drinking alcohol can prevent COVID. And the other one said injecting bleach can help cleanse your body of COVID. Which one said which?
No, not which one.
no, you just know.
Lukashenko said the vodka thing.
Yeah.
And Trump said inject bleach, which is even more ridiculous than saying drink alcohol.
Like, at least, I don't know, there's no scientific evidence for either, but one is not going to kill you.
Yeah, one isn't going to kill you. Yeah, but one's going to kill you. Yeah, one's going to kill you fucking instantly and cause you a horrific fucking burning inside.
Veins collapsing and
like the other's going to give you a belly and maybe kill you in 30 years. If
and if you drink too much, you might die in one night. But that's rare. So remember his excuse afterwards as well when he said.
He was trying to troll the media.
Right. He actually, no. He came out afterwards and said it was satire. You were making. No, but the thing is, why have you chosen now to do satire? Why not do it on your campaign trail? That's fine. Do satire all you want. Do a joke all you want. That's what you were known for. But Canadian at your sort of things, and it's probably effective. But why have you chosen a fucking press press conference to start fucking whipping out some satire. That's nonsense.
No, and also
you can see in the clip that he needs it. It's because the woman, his health advisor, is looking over him like.
Yeah, no,
eyes fucking wide.
Anyone saying that they actually thought, obviously it was sarcasm. They're just being obtuse for the sake of being obtuse.
Yeah.
They're just
blind to it.
Yeah, unless you have like severe, this I might get cancelled. Unless you have severe fucking autism, like you
can understand that. That's
I'm autistic, so sorry.
Yeah. I'm diagnosed with autism. So.
I'm diagnosed, but only by myself. So.
You were diagnosed through fucking. Like WebMD.
Yeah, no, I'm not diagnosed by anyone, but I probably am. Yeah.
Well, that's what racists say. no. He in that clip is dead. You know, I love the clip because it's he's just fucking been asked a question that he cannot answer. So it's just like, well, I've heard like you can inject.
No, the thing is, Trumpisms, his funny, ridiculous, just insane moments. The thing is, a lot of presidents have had them. George Bush had them. George Bushisms had them. And it was like, it was funny and dopey. But with Trump, it was constant. It was like every single day. It was
every day there was a new thing he said.
Something new and something retarded. It's like, oh god, in fucking. The sad thing now with Biden, honestly, if Trump runs in 2024, he's going to win because people are bored. He's going to win because people are bored of how just okay things are.
Hell, bring him back.
Yeah, because Biden's isms, Biden's weird moments, like when he forgot what he was talking about.
Sad.
Yeah, they're just sad. It's like fucking hell.
They're a little bit funny initially.
Yeah.
You go, he's in.
Yeah,
he's
you
got
go,
dementia,
this guy.
I'm gonna have that someday.
Yeah, you just think like fucking hell. This is probably all of us in like 50 years.
Yeah, exactly.
This man is just deteriorating.
But whereas with Trump, he'll whip out a bar chart that shows nothing.
With Trump, I recommend firing nuclear weapons at hurricanes.
Yes. As though that was so. Everyone just created nuclear air. Nuclear hurricane. Yeah, literal. He's sick and fought. Alright, we'll nuke it. But genuinely, what? Wait, I don't care, right? If you have no understanding of science, right, or how nuclear weapons work, how the military works. Surely, every person on the planet, right? I don't care if you're a North Korean citizen and don't get any education from the outside world. Firing a fucking nuke at a hurricane wouldn't just make it go away. What do you think would happen? So you'd be watching on the screen, the nuke would be heading for it, nuked. Okay, right next to American cities, by the way, right? And then what happens? The hurricane does it just sort of like
goes away, just goes back fought down.
Yeah, when the nuke is starting to take this seriously. What happens to the hurricane?
I don't know. It just
I would love to have him as a podcast guest. Like I would love it, but I would also despise it because he would just be so narcissistic for ages. Yeah. You wouldn't be able to say anything. Like you would say a story and he'd be like, "Well, I'll one up you." Yeah. He's that type of guy. But I would love to just ask him, what were you thinking when you said this? When you were president? I'd pay him.
Well, the thing is, like with Trump, it wasn't even just like the ridiculous things to say. It was just the way he spoke was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to do an impression of because it's such nonsense to be like. Well, it's like someone asked a question like, Mr. President, why did you do this? And he's well, I was thinking at the time, I just think it'd be lovely if we did this, but, and a lot of people were saying that it was great if we did this, and I decided I just kind of wanted to do it, so I decided to do it, and, it was okay, it was really great, it was lovely, and, and then we went to school, and it was cool.
Almost like Michael Jackson. I don't know why. He just reminds us of Michael Jackson a bit.
No, he has his own version of the whole joke we do about what we used to about going to the shop.
I'm going so anybody out there who might have had this happen to them, has anybody spoke to somebody and they've just taught you the story but really, really long-winded? So when somebody tells you a story, it's pretty straight at the point, just like this.
I went to the shop and it didn't work out.
Yeah, that's straight to the point. But then what we thought was quite funny is like, I was speaking to my uncle one time and he'd done this. He was like telling us a story and he'd just add complete nonsense details in the door. So, for example, I was going to the shop and I was walking down the road and we were walking at a pretty steady 2 mile per hour pace. We were nearly there. We're getting up there. We saw somebody on the side of the road. We had just ignored them really though. And the details don't really matter. I won't bore you with the details. He actually said that. I won't bore you with the details. But then told us complete nonsense details that weren't related to the. And I think that sums up Trump. He's filling airtime because what benefits Trump most? Just being on the air as long as possible. And I think it's a tactical thing. I think he does partially speak like that because he's just a bit idiotic. He's just a bit idiotic. And he's not got Alzheimer's, but he's got something wrong with him. A bit like maybe medications. Sort of
I think it's medication, just old age. Because if you look at him like in Republican primaries, he's still has that weird way of speaking, but he's way more honest. You know?
Yeah. He seems way more energetic and way more to the point. And then if you see him in the 2020 debates, like he sounds like an angry old man.
Oh, in his interviews, like with
fucking
what's his name? Jonathan something.
Oh, the guy at
HBO.
No, not HBO.
Huh?
The Australian guy.
Yeah, he was with HBO.
Oh, it wasn't HBO. It was like Axios.
It was Axios, which it was affiliated with HBO.
All right, yeah. Or Chris Wallace.
Chris Wallace, that was a fucking great interview.
Yeah. Them interviews are fucking amazing.
We're lower than the world.
There were COVID cases and lower than the world. No. And then he argued that the reason the case is high is because we've got more tests. It's like, well, fucking obviously. What do you mean? The cases are high because we've got more tests. The cases are still there though. And then I think he actually kind of, the implication there is that if you don't test anybody, then no COVID cases exist. The COVID cases still exist. Oh god, it's like he seemed like he was trying to get out of the situation. Like he's been, obviously he must have been a bit shitting up when he found out COVID was actually going to be a serious thing in America, realising that it is really serious. He must have thought, how can I get out of this one? Well, I bet he suggested to one of his guys, let's just not test anybody, and then it won't show up that anybody died of COVID. No, look like I didn't kill anybody. I didn't let anybody die. Almost that sort of attitude. That's what the implication there in saying that is. Just complete morality. And all these things combined. Trump's taxes really dodgy. 15 years. Obviously. Didn't really matter by the 2020 election, but he had 40 million rape allegations against him for some reason. But he had 25, so not too bad.
And he paid hush money to Stormy Daniels.
That was another one.
2019 impeachment, wasn't it? Right at the end of 2019. That he was obviously guilty.
The Ukraine thing, obviously
literally full record.
Obviously, the Russia thing's more for debate, but I mean, even if we're not saying it did or did not happen. The Russian interference thing and him cooperating. I mean, there's strong evidence to suggest it did, but regardless, that didn't even affect him. Even if it did or did not happen, that media coverage did not affect him.
By 2020, who the fuck cared about Russia?
Nobody cared because so much shit had happened.
No, and that was. I mean, it's sort of like the fire hosing thing, which is where it's a tactic that gets used in Russia and also by Trump, where you tell so many fucking lies. I'm just there for the listeners. You tell so many lies that. It gets to the point where the truth just basically doesn't exist. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Like, you tell so many lies that it's impossible to even counteract them, And Trump had a similar thing just with the insanity of his statements and with the sheer level of scandals that he got into. That it's like, oh, another Trump scandal, who the fuck cares? It's because poll numbers don't change, And it's emblematic of a broader pattern that we're starting to see in politics, which is that the right wing it's just unaffected by controversy now. The right wing.
It's not even unaffected. It's fucking powered by controversy.
The right wing breathes controversy now.
They love it.
It gets from the news. And
you know when the Boris Johnson thing happened with the flat refurbishment, I bet he thought, thank fuck. I bet he's thinking nothing's happened for a while. Thank fuck the progress. He's probably loving it.
Yeah, and you sent me. I think you just put it in the group chat. Was an article that was like it says something lines of as Boris Johnson. Flat refurbishment scandal unfolds, Tory poll numbers rise. It's like
not like rise, major
rise in their poll numbers as a scandal is currently unfolding.
And you think no, and it's like the same week this scandal's been constantly covered, and I'm not even saying any major organisation wasn't covering it. They all were covering it and giving it,
Giving it its fair shake.
Giving it, yeah. And even then, you know, obviously scandals die down after a couple of weeks anyways and don't affect polls as much. But this is the week. Like this flat reflection thing only happened a week, 2 weeks ago, and it hasn't affected their polls. Yeah. They're standing in Hartlepool. They're standing in any council election.
The standing in Hartlepool went up.
Yes, it went up fucking massively. It's almost as though people are like, oh, it's fun.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like,
I know people have more reason. I'm just joking there.
It's almost like it's like, well, you need something easy to hate. So there's something. I think maybe Tony Blair had the same thing, because there were a lot of scandals with Tony Blair in the early 2000s with the tobacco advertising thing.
Yeah.
There was
Eunoiacast.
Yeah, the expensive scandal I think was under Blair.
Yeah, the invasion of Iraq.
Yeah, the invasion of Iraq was a scandal.
Not a scandal. I mean, like his biggest.
I mean, but like prior to Iraq, he still had scandals like with Bernie Ecclestone, and it's almost like an outlet. It's almost like, okay, I can vote for this politician and I can hate like one or two things. Well, I can hate the sleaze, but like that's it. That's all I have to hate with them. You know what I mean? I can vote the rest and that's okay. But I have this one or two things I can point to, be like, well, I don't like that. You know, and that gives me a clear conscience.
Yeah. No, you're clearing your conscience. Like, well, you know, Boris might be shit, and Boris might be flawed, but he's still our Boris.
Yeah.
You know, he nearly died for us. He nearly died of COVID. That's a weird thing. That massively works his favour, despite him not taking COVID seriously, despite him ignoring sage scientific advice in the early stages of the pandemic, despite him not using the 2 weeks on and off thing that could have got us out of this fucking shitty lockdown system quicker.
It's been on for like 14 months.
Yeah, right? And all these things, ignoring them, still shitting people's hands. He's fucking, when he went to an NHS hospital and he started getting shouted at, right? All these things combine to just like create a sort of thing that if he did get COVID, you wouldn't really care. But then people actually felt really, really bad for Boris.
Yeah, because he's in his hospital bed.
But he's an eating, college-educated piece of fat shit. He's a cunt. And I'm not saying that's not exactly like politically fucking intelligent. But to be honest, sometimes in politics, you don't need to read a fucking. And this I'm going to sound right chappy here. You don't need to read fucking 20 politics books. Sometimes you just need to go, hey, yeah, that opposition there, cunt.
Fat Tory cunt.
Yeah, fat Tory cunt. Them are effective. You know?
Yeah.
I know you're building up people's rage there, but it can work.
It reminds me of Chat Rock Trap House are a bit, they have their problems, but
They love China.
Yeah, love China. But the woman on Chat Rock Trap House called Amber Frost, she wrote a very good article. I've read like a bit of it. But basically the point of the article is about how the left should be vulgar. The left should use vulgar language and should not care about things like civility. And we should just like insult people and call fat cunts.
Yes.
And because vulgarity and that sort of directness is the language of regular people. Regular people don't have this very civil. Oh well, we have our lovely civil debates. I'm so glad we can debate.
No average person speaks like a politician when they're in like a press conference.
Yeah.
You know?
Like no. The thing is, it used to work. People used to be able to go to a crowd of people and say, "I'm doing this for the American people and our values of democracy," and yada yada yada. and it worked for a while, and now it is impossible for anyone to say that without coming across as absolutely and completely hollow and plastic.
Yes.
So, and to use the language of vulgarity, and people like this about Trump. People like the fact that Trump would say "bomb the shit out of them."
Oh yeah.
And we're going to go after that. And rapists and murderers.
Fucking jackass. Yeah. That sort of thing.
And like saying what people actually do. It's the darker thoughts people have, and also using the same language that they'd use, using the vulgar language rather than this trumped up family friendly sort of facade. It actually appeals to common people, and it's what the left should do.
Yeah. Because they want to see, and I want to see. I'm from working class background. I'm going to say I want to see in my politician that I want to vote for is vulgarity, is a relatable attitude towards people. Stop pretending as though you care if a Tory dies.
Yeah.
Genuinely, right? This might sound the worst thing, but if a fucking Tory MP dies, and I was Labour leader, and I've been there a couple of years, I would not make a statement saying I care.
Yeah.
I'd say, fuck that, because I know I'd look like a fucking immoral, bankrupt piece of shit, because I don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if fucking Ben Bradley, Mansfield PM,
right.
who said that Mansfield PM, Mansfield MP, who
Someone PM.
who voted. I mean, he voted against the
Free school meals,
and on top of that said the vouchers would be spent on prostitutes and drugs. You know, because all working class people are druggies and love prostitutes. You know, they don't have wives that they're faithful to or anything like that. If he died, no.
Yeah.
Even if he was, I mean,
if he was brutally murdered, I would.
No, if he was killing a terrorist attack, I would not.
I'd shake terrorist attack.
That might be bad to say.
No, I wouldn't do that. But if someone killed him,
oh my god! If we were politicians in the future, fucking hell, and they found this episode and lived it out the phone.
Richie, you better lose this one again.
Oh shit, no! Not on 2-bit fucking audacity. Not that, man.
We did get away from the council topic.
Yeah, we did get away from the council.
Nah, we're running out of time as well, which is good.
I'm actually.
Well, we'll do a last segment on it.
Alright, wait, is any ideas? Oh, wait, the last topic. We'll do this one quick. Alright, before we shut up shop. Alright, and we should do another podcast reacting to the actual results. And
that can be next week. And we can go into more of the stuff we have prepared.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Alright, I had way more stuff prepared, but we'll go into that next time. But you proposed a question earlier before we start the podcast. The most annoying left-wing position.
Yeah. Now,
position.
So
economic or social?
I had this is a social one for me, and it's kind of a pet peeve for the listeners. I'm a bit of a gym rat, right? I like to work out, right? I'm big into
the gym.
Right, I'm big into fitness, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm big into fitness.
you really care about yo?
No, I'm not really.
Yeah. and sometimes I get into the kind of mood where I want to be pissed off. Well, like I will deliberately seek out opinions that I fucking think are stupid, just to read them and feel a bit annoyed.
Oh yeah.
I just read something about fat acceptance, and generally speaking, up to a point I'm in favour of fat acceptance and body positivity. But I wonder if there are people who've said that working out and going to the gym is fat phobic.
There are people who've done that. But it is, by the way.
Him. and so I just googled something along those lines. I found an article on everyday feminism, which other stuff on that website I agree with, might be a perfectly fine website. But it was just.
I would never read a feminist specific website. Not anything against feminists. I just wouldn't search out that shit.
Yeah, where I assume, I don't know you. I assume we don't call ourselves feminists.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's not the kind of content that I'd be fine. But basically, in this article was like something like 6 ways.
You can be like an ally.
Yeah, so basically, it's like 6 ways you can.
To fat stingers.
It's like 6 ways you can talk about working out without being fatphobic. Something along those lines.
Right? I can make fat jokes. I can be as offensive on fat people because I'm fat.
You might say it.
No, but I don't want to say it. I don't want to confirm.
And this was a take where it's like it's kind of it's almost like it's not a running joke. It's almost just like a catchphrase among us now. Of like, this is why the left will never win. You know what I mean? This is why the left loses election.
Yeah.
And in this article was like that because it said the first thing it said, the way to not be fatphobic when you talk about fitness is get consent from people when you want to talk about your fitness routine.
Oh, fuck
it's
off.
just like, are you a human being?
Rat.
You know what I mean? It's like
that's not human waves like acting towards people.
It's absolutely.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Imagine me around some fat cunt and going. No, imagine being around some fat cunt and going. Look, can I talk about my fitness?
No, right. If I had.
You are a cunt.
No, I'm not trying to be a cunt, right? You said you're a fat guy.
Right. I'm not like.
No,
we're painting a message here.
Yeah. No, right. I'll be honest,
right?
Right. You're a bit fat, but you don't look fat, right? You're fairly tall, so you're fairly tall, but the weight's you're kind of like my dad. He's very tall, so he's very
I'm not anywhere near your dad.
But if I came up to you and went, Riley, is it alright if I talk to you about what I've been doing at the gym?
Oh my god!
How would you be insulted?
Right. No, I wouldn't just be insulted. I'd go fuck off. If I went up to you, right, what? If you went up to me and said that, my reaction would be fuck off, cunt.
Yeah.
Like fuck.
No, if someone did, if I was like fat and someone came up to me, I'd be like, is the fucking body snatchers in there?
Yeah, what are you fucking alien?
Yeah.
No, I would love. I want to meet more people like this just so I can speak to them and like attack their sensibilities and their little fucking sort of just pussy way of thinking.
Yeah.
I know it's like a proper lad thing to say, oh you're a pussy, but no, like you just like pussy fucking shit way of thinking where like you have to ask for permission to talk about literally anything. If you're talking about going to the fucking gym, if you're talking about eating healthy, right? I'll try to eat fairly healthy. Right? It doesn't always work. I've got my vices, chips and gravy and all that. But like, if fucking you came up to me and went, do you want me to talk? Am I allowed to talk about the fact I eat like fruit and
it's insulting.
You fucking. I haven't seen. If somebody random done that to me, I'd go, A, you're saying that because you think I'm fat, so that's insulting. And then B, right? I don't give a fuck if you talk about your fruit and veg diets.
I don't give a fuck if you talk about your meat and 2 veg diet.
I imagine this is probably could be applied to this. If somebody's vegan and you go like, it's okay if I talk about meat. If somebody said that to me and I start talking about fucking beef or something, I love beef, mate. I love roast beef, right? And then the person went,
you started saying, I've got no beef with beef.
No, the person who's vegan or vegetarian went, actually I prefer you didn't talk about it. Just go. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Don't act like that around me. You're a fucking disgrace. You're actually a disgrace of a person if that's your attitude.
And it's like you can't imagine any of these people talking to anyone but people in their own little sort of
Their little echo chambers.
Yeah. And it sort of speaks to.
What was another reason that actually I'm intrigued now?
There was so much for like it weren't like too fucking shit don't equate weight loss with necessarily health. Like that's fair enough. That's fair. But there's that particular one really fucking pisses off. And I mean broadly, as I said, I don't believe in fat shaming. I think fat shaming is fucking stupid. It doesn't work. But there's one thing related to this.
You don't believe in fat shaming, but I've just been called a fat cunt.
No, but it's different.
It's meant to be.
And there's this idea called healthy at any size. There's something like that. And it's the idea that no matter how big you are, no matter how large or obese, whatever you are, you can be healthy. No,
not like if you're like 400 pounds.
Yeah, it's like
I don't see the problem with people like being slightly overweight or anything, but I don't think it's right to just deny the science and say people who are like absolutely clinically obese, in danger of their cholesterol killing them in a couple of years. I don't think it's okay to go to them. In fact, it's pretty scummy to go to them and say everything's going to be fine.
You carry on eating.
Because when they're in the fucking ground, you should have some fucking blame for that. The people who encourage that.
You know, like the ton guy who has to be
wheeled about.
Literally wheeled about.
Or people who have to get cranes to get out of bed. You've got to really fucking tell them that.
Yeah, right. He eats like 12 pizzas in one sitting or some shit. I remember this. And like 4 burgers and genuinely. 4 burgers, that's a fucking lot. No, if you're fucking telling me you eat 4 burgers in one sitting.
I do too. That's one double burgerized burger.
You cannot eat 4 burgers.
I could eat one double burgerized
like
burger.
Double cheeseburgers.
So you mean like 8 burgers?
No, I don't mean single like burgers slice.
Oh, like we're getting sidetracked. We're getting sidetracked.
No. Burger slice. Burger raspberry burger slice. No. I mean burger slice patty. Right? I fucking lost it for a second there. Right. You're 800 pounds. Okay. You need to actually have a one-on-one with that guy and go. Actually, to be honest, you can't help it. No, if you're 800 pounds, you can't recover because you're so big. No, you can't. If you're 800
if you're like 600 pounds, I mean maybe if you've got like loads of surgery and maybe
No, I don't think that works.
Yeah, it's
liposuction can only get rid of like pockets of fat.
Yeah. No, I mean like beyond liposuction. I mean like getting your fucking stomach tied and shit like that. Yeah.
Well, that can work.
But it's like just the idea that
You're
you could
never
be
gonna lose
so
weight.
it's the idea that you could be so unhealthy that you need to have your stomach cut in half, and you need to have like fucking 100 kilos of excess skin. It's like I don't think you should go up to people like that and be like, you ugly fat piece of shit, you lazy fat parasite.
Yeah.
I think you should
but
say.
Your fat is disgusting.
Yeah, but like what you should say to them is, look, you have a choice. You can keep doing this, and you can keep eating the way you are and living the way you are, and you're gonna die when you're fucking 35. And it's like that's either that or you lose the weight, and it won't be easy. But that's a choice.
I understand. Like a lot of people on the left, this part of the identity politics spectrum, who argue for this kind of thing, kind of go by the line of like, everyone you see in advertisements is usually fit or like really skinny. These people who are quite on the larger side of life, these people do exist, and they need to be like, treated in advertisements and stuff like they exist. And I don't even have a problem with that. Even if you want to get people who are maybe dangerously large on advertisements and things like that, that's fair enough. But what you shouldn't do is call it healthy. It should be a thing where it's like, these people exist, but you don't necessarily want to look like that.
That's a good body. But equally, then you can also argue when you get really skinny models.
Oh yeah,
there should be like
definitely.
Should there be a disclaimer?
Absolutely.
Like how you get drinkware or like anti-gambling advert. Should there be a disclaimer?
I think clinically overweight and underweight, which are literally measurable spectrums, should both be disclaimers.
Yeah,
it's not like a black or white thing.
Even beyond disclaimers,
it doesn't matter if you're black or white.
I think Sadiq Khan had banned certain kinds of advertising that showed like ridiculous fucking models, like ridiculously underweight. Yeah. I'm probably in favour of that because the body image that gets promoted by that is just unachievable for most people, and absolutely it literally kills people.
Right. Well, what about for men? Should that guy? What about that's like the body. I'm saying that guy. Like there's actually a person here. Aaron has because he's obviously metrosexual. He has a really big poster of a big muscly.
I stole an advertisement from the gym. And
he has
a big muscly fella called Kale Crosley up there.
Right. And it's an exercise for less poster. He stole it from the gym. He's just a big muscly man. Advertising should somebody like him not be?
That's a really healthy body type though.
That is steroids. To be honest, like that.
Is it? Yeah, look at his arms.
He's not ridiculously like
the veins in his arms. He looks like he's been injecting roids.
No, that is roids.
Yeah.
I've got a good barometer for that.
Here you go. If he's got the roids, he hasn't.
I think like the kind of steroid boys, they shouldn't be in advertising either. No, like absolutely not. I mean, one thing, it even discourages people to lose weight a lot of the time because they'll start going to the gym and thinking they can achieve something like that. And it's like, if you want less, you're going to use steroids and really damage your health and shrink your nuts.
No, but adding on top of that, even if you did use steroids, sometimes your body just isn't designed.
Mm-hmm.
We have a friend who wants to get really muscly.
Someone's been on this podcast.
Yeah. Right? Wants to get muscly, and it's just like, I've tried telling him, it's not going to work.
You?
No, I'm going to get muscly someday. Who?
Ruby?
Oh yeah.
Obviously,
he's been on the podcast, Connor.
Yeah, Connor. Yeah.
Right. Why wouldn't you say that?
And he, I just don't think it's going to happen. And it's almost like, I don't know about him, but I think he's maybe trying to live up to this sort of stereotype they should try to strive for that, and it's just a bit pointless.
Yeah. No, it's like
you don't need a six pack.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say so much as like he's genetically indisposed to not becoming like that.
It's absolutely fair to say that.
No, I think he is.
Genetics does play a big role in how muscly and how muscular you can look.
Yeah, but he could definitely become significantly more muscular than he is.
No, he could.
Even with genetic limitations.
Significant. I mean, look, he's got narrow shoulders. That's a big thing.
That's a posture thing.
No, it's not. It's not doing posture. It's just like a guy with quite broad shoulders.
Now maybe you can't do much for his shoulders. He could, work on his arms. No, he might not. No,
he's just got a skinny body type.
Because there's a difference between if you're just obsessed with look and if you want to become stronger. He could become significantly stronger. Like he's physically capable.
Right, there's one thing that he done, and this is quite liberal of him. He said he wants my body type, and I was just like, you cheeky fucker. Right, you.
Oh, that's like something.
Yeah.
That's like a mega left wing.
Yeah, no. He went like, I wish I was your weight. It's like, you don't wish you were my weight. I'm not going to say my weight. But no, but you don't, because Literally, right, the thing is with that as well, it's like, skinny people are like in fashion. Skinny men are in fashion right now, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
More so than... That's quite a weird...
we need the return of the dad pod, don't we, really?
I'd love the return of the dad pod.
Sorry, that's evil.
Like 10 minutes, there's just some guy in a wheelchair rolling about. What the fuck is this?
We're on the BBC travel show.
Yeah, no, this is like the fucking dark side of the BBC.
The dark side. No, this is the dark side of BWC.
Undercarriage.
Big white cock.
Yeah, I know, but the undercarriage is the dark side of the big white cock.
The undercarriage.
The fucking undercarriage, you know what I mean?
Like you gooch.
Yeah, you gooch.
What the fuck?
It's called undercarriage.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Right.
Left wing takes the piss off.
Guy rolling down in that wheelchair. Please, if anybody can watch this clip, it's on BBC. I don't know if it's on demand or out, but if you can.
Yeah.
Right, what was it? No, but you're saying that, like, I want to be your body type. It's like, but you literally, A, you're not going to be.
Yeah.
And B, you don't want to be. You know, that's a thing that would annoy me. That would annoy me even if I had a really desirable body type and people, I really want to be like you. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah. No, if you said that to me,
I'm just not very sociable.
if you'd said that to me, I would have said no, you don't, because it's sorry. Like I have to put a lot of work to look better, you know.
So, and you wouldn't do that, probably not.
He wouldn't enjoy it, you know. I don't mind it because I kind of enjoy it, but like he wouldn't enjoy it.
You'd have to get a taste for it, and that's how keeping up exercise really just works. You have to get proper into it, addicted to it almost. Like it's that endorphin rush. But yeah, him saying that just I don't know. It puts me the wrong way because it's like you don't know. You're not these.
No, I imagine like it's it has its own struggles compared to being skinny. You know?
Yeah, of course. The only thing skinny people have to like really put up with is I don't know. I think a lot of skinny men get a complex about this, like looking weak.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm fag arms.
Yes.
Cigarette arms.
Yeah, not the F word. Fag is a word used for fags. Like fag is a word used for cigarettes in the UK. Like fag arms, like really tiny arms. I think they get really there's certain men who get so insecure about that, and then they act like the big man. I love that. I love seeing that. You know, muppets who are just skinny little twigs. Who think the fucking unstoppable, think the Tyson Fury. Yeah. It's like, nah, mate, you're just a fucking muppet. But you know, when you mentioned earlier the rage, you get like angry and you want to search out anger. I get that sometimes. You know, I'm a cocaine addict, and I've took armods with cocaine. And my God, the rage you get on that, fuck me, it's insane. And you know, I advise everyone underage I'd advise everyone of age to try it once.
You're advocating taking cocaine on a podcast. That is not. That is
for humour.
That is no. That's against TOS.
No, I've never tried it. To be fair, cocaine's rancid. It smells weird when you put it in your nose as well.
I've never done it. I promise.
Yeah, especially when you get the backdrop of cocaine. That I've never experienced.
And the drip. That's just so fucking nice. That's horrible. Don't do it.
I'm craving some cocaine now.
Never done it. No, so just to finish off, let's do your left wing takes that pisses off.
Any left wing takes from you?
I think the fat one was a fair point. Maybe in America at the moment, you could say like the left wing's getting increasingly comfortable with sort of big Silicon Valley social media platforms, just because they've banned a few right wing people. And it's just like, yes, these platforms have done a right thing, but that doesn't mean you excuse them for existing the way they do and exploiting just society itself.
And for having the sheer magnitude of just power that they have.
Just letting them off with this.
You'll get like Twitter sort of groups and everything, and then like Twitter sort of circles where left wingers fraternise. and Facebook groups as well, and they'll be like clapping Trump getting banned. I'm just thinking,
why?
No, I forgot to bring this up earlier.
It's fine to like to use the word banter right wingers. Trump got banned. He's an idiot. But then it's like, but you shouldn't be applauding it. It's not.
The Democrat Party has landed themselves in hot water on Twitter recently because they put up this banner, like this image, and like everyone fucking hates it because it's just this image with text on it saying, retweet this if you support Facebook's permanent banning of Donald Trump. And it's like, what retweet this if you support banning permanently?
That's not as offensive if like Labour done that for in Britain, because the Democrat Party has never been a left-wing party. It's never been a left-wing party.
No, it's a fact that's just like...
But it's still irritating. It's still establishment, pro-establishment nonsense.
Yeah, it's like, you should support it, but surely the opposition...
I don't even know if I'd support.
I
don't know if I'd support permanent ban of Trump.
No, I don't think. I think bring him back.
I don't think Facebook should be able to decide effectively if a candidate can run for office. Because if Trump doesn't have Twitter or Facebook, unless his new platform actually works, which I fucking doubt, I don't think without Twitter and Facebook, I don't think Trump can run. It's a necessity for him to be a politician.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's not a debate in the fucking retarded right wing sense of like, oh, it's such a free speech issue because the left is taking us via this right wing corporation. Oh.
Yeah.
It's an issue of power, and it's an issue of why the fuck should you be happy that a publicly unaccountable dictatorship, which is Facebook, has the power to decide the political future of any candidate. That they're having that power means they can decide they could do that to Bernie. And the funny thing is, Reddit, right? And this is, I think, the real thing you notice is that these sort of corporations will ban people who are disruptive rather than people who are necessarily right wing. Because when Reddit banned the Donald, they also banned r/chatbot.
Did they?
Yeah, they did.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
and it's because both on the Donald and on chatbot they disregard. Yeah, they disregard the establishment ideas of civility and of reasonable debating. Oh, well, let's just keep this moderate sort of centrist talk.
Obviously, a lot of people are calling this our establishment liberal left, and they don't really. They would also applaud Trump speaking, but some of them are like, supposed anarchists.
Yeah.
the ancoms on fucking Twitter, right? And it's like, well, why are you applauding this when at the same time every other left-wing person you may like will be attacked and will be attacked, probably more so than a lot of the right-wing candidates. You'll get moderate Republicans staying on there longer than you will get Bernie staying on there.
Oh, yeah.
Because Bernie is more disruptive, but Bernie does it, to some extent attacks civility and like attacks corporation sensibility.
Yeah, like fuck knows. Like if you're a left-winger, if you think that if the Socialist Workers Party became the third party in the US, fucking get banned instantly.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the way they'll justify is that they're violent. And no, Trump shouldn't be banned. And Paul, I'm going to say Paul Just Watson shouldn't be banned. He shouldn't be.
No, the thing is, I agree. Suspending his account when the cattle rights going on because he was.
Yeah, because he could have kept on doing it.
Fair enough, but
for a week.
For a week
until Biden was inaugurated, and then just bring him back.
Yeah, at that point it's like, all right, he's
for
gone.
Comedic value.
Yeah, for comedic value, and also just as a matter of principle.
Yeah.
And that's to prove to the right wing that I'm not a leftist wants to take their free speech away. I fucking do. I do believe in free speech.
I completely support their free speech.
Yeah.
And you know what? I like your free speech because the more you have free speech, the more like the left will actually end up winning because you're fucking idiots, right? Yeah. And your points, if you get the right left-wing candidate counterbalance you, are completely and utterly fucking destroyed, and you become irrelevant. Because believe it or not, and this is why the left is so fucking pussy, because they're not willing to take risks. They'd rather support corporations banning Trump because they don't think they can win. But if you just get that right candidate, you will never lose because most people on fucking earth support left-wing economic policies over any right-wing economic policy, and that is a fact. Yeah. That is fact. Even in the US, a majority of people there support left-wing economic policy.
Something like most Americans think that healthcare should be a right in the Constitution, and it's something like a third think that it's already in the Constitution.
Well, there you go, right? Yeah, left-wingers need to make more of a risk because the thing is, I love when right-wingers have freedom of speech because they expose themselves as morons with no actual opinions.
Yeah, and they're actually easy to fucking laugh at.
Yeah, they're so easy to mock when they're just there, and that Trump being so vocal is probably one of the reasons it harmed his winning in the election, because of the stuff he said about COVID.
Mm-hmm.
You know, him being on the face of the media constantly.
If Trump hadn't had Twitter, he might have fucking. No, if Trump had had like a hadn't used Twitter personally and just had like his team manager, like most
like Obama.
Yeah,
I think
he might have actually won.
Yeah. Twitter probably did on, because the thing is, it wasn't like people on Twitter saw Trump's tweets. People everywhere, in every country in the world saw Trump's tweets, because it was on every news article.
No, the main people replying to Trump's tweets and actually looking at them weren't fucking Trump supporters. They were like, I can't say the F word. They were fucking shitheads who were like, oh
Donald
God,
Trump.
Donald Trump.
No, they were born up 2016
and
they were fucking.
They were like they were like
giving it to the man.
They were kind of like shitheads who would be like, Mr. President, sir, I disagree. Like, fuck you.
There was a controversy in Hyde Park. Just gave away our fucking location.
Shit,
No.
Come assassinate Fred Hampton.
Brockhampton. There's controversy in Leeds, in our uni. There's a uni group, and somebody posted on there the most liberal fucking shit.
God,
they apologised.
Yeah.
They released an apology saying, I'm so sorry for my shit, I'm really bad. But they released the most liberal fucking opinion ever. So it was one night Richie was around ours, right? And we were standing somewhere talking about Biden at one point. And I thought, and then I looked at Leeds student group like at the end of the night, and I was like, oh, what's happened here? And this girl posted saying, to whoever was talking about Biden on X Road, right? I'm literally, you don't know anything, and I'm gonna come out there and educate you, dumbass. And it's like, oh my God, yeah. No, they were talking.
When was this?
It wasn't about us. I thought it was initially, but it wasn't. And I said like, this is a joke show, because I couldn't believe that somebody would actually post, I'm going to come out and educate you on why Biden's good.
Yeah. No, she's fucking Gen Z Kamala Harris.
Yeah. The first black Indian woman ever. To be vice president. Was it Jamaican or Indian?
Fucking, I don't know. Part black, part Indian, part white, part
what was she again? She was part, because I remember the media going on and on about it.
Oh God, she was part Indian.
I think it was Jamaican.
Yeah, I think her mum might have been Jamaican.
Yeah, I think it was.
She was like
it's
Afro-Caribbean.
It's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I do not give a shit.
Yeah,
it's
a
you
nice
incarcerate
symbol.
people for wrong.
It's a nice symbol, but at the end of the day, when you're still locking up black people, why the fuck should I care? Yeah.
Come on, it's a really lovely symbol that you're a black Indian woman that's vice president. Love it. So why didn't you tell Biden to stop pretending as though he's helping the kids in cages and just call the rehabilitation centre? Why do you do that? You don't have an opinion on it now.
It's a nice symbol, but a better symbol of what you actually represent is the black man bars. You know?
Yeah,
I was actually that's one person on the left who's disappointed us a bit recently in America.
Joe Biden. Who? Kamala Harris.
What? No, AOC.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah, the whole. She's went on for fucking years about kids in cages.
And
then recently she said, "Oh, we don't need it. You know, we've got priorities at the moment. Of course, it's still an issue, but we need to deal. These things take time." And basically, just totally nullifying it. Where's the urgency? Where's the pictures of her standing outside these facilities crying? Why isn't she doing that now?
In fact, she had been.
Yeah, I've noticed it just pissed us off a little bit.
She had released some tweets before when this was first becoming controversy that was still happening with Biden, saying something like, "No matter which president is, this isn't okay." But maybe she might back.
She has pretty much.
She has. I'm pretty sure she's went a bit radio silent ever since that.
And it's like you can't afford to do that.
No,
your whole point is that you stand up for what you believe in.
Her whole career is built off even
socialist leftist politics.
Yeah, her whole career is built off not just fighting Republicans, fighting the Democratic establishment.
Yeah, and I know it's a bit disappointing because I thought she was a real
Bernie bro.
I thought there was a real chance that she'd be a good force for America, but I mean, evidently
she's clearly
becoming a bit of a shill.
She's not completely hopeless considering she's only 31. To be fair,
true.
She's only really done. But she has definitely backed away from the limelight a bit.
She just seems to have just given up now that Biden's elected. I don't know. I don't know if she's afraid of a worse Trump figure being elected, or
I think she might be afraid of what the Democratic establishment do. Look what they've done to Bernie.
Oh, poor old Bernie.
Poor old
Ran
Bernie,
over by the Democrats.
Yeah, imagine it. Right, imagine.
Oh, the fact, right?
I
He's
just creating left-wing fantasies here. Bernie and Corbyn.
No, you think of all the fucking presidents that America's had, and none of them's been Bernie.
Yeah. Then never will be, because Bernie's too old.
Even though he's on fucking record in like what was it, like the fucking 70s or some shit, saying like, you know, gay rights, like American rights.
Yeah.
Everyone else in fucking literally 90% of Congress at the time was against him.
Yeah,
he was up there speaking for it. Fucking hell.
He's never been a Democrat. He's always been independent. Always ran independent, and he's constantly kept that Vermont, you know, voter base going forever for 50 years.
Yeah, Vermont knows what's up. But
and I fucking.
You gotta respect Bernie, to be fair.
You've got to respect Bernie. But my controversial, most hated left-wing position. I haven't really prepared for this, so I mean, which position really annoys us?
Where have these been?
In the fridge.
I mean, this probably isn't my most hated, but like I don't know. I suppose cultural appropriation argument is a bit annoying. I mean, it's not. It's probably not. I can definitely think of more ones that annoys. I'm just doing this on the spot. It has.
I don't see as many people being bothered by it at the moment. I don't know why.
It has, but actually
maybe because of a worldwide pandemic.
There is a one, but. If any like a student near us heard my opinion, they might like kick us out of school. Kick us out of school.
I set the cultural appropriation thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could bring it up.
Well,
you could like talk about it in a rational way.
Trans lives are human rights.
I'm not
trans lives are human rights.
What was it? He, him, her, all of them. I love them all.
Right? No.
No, we can't say that.
No, I mean, even if I like feminists, left-wing feminists can tackle that issue, they'll end up getting on. Oh no! The fact they don't believe that there are people that can be cancelled. No. Sorry, regarding like certain issues that the left holds very sacred to themselves, and will not give up, like the one we just referenced, and they kind of despise any deviation from that type of ideology, and this is quite mainstream in politics now. Feminist societies are dying. They actually do. The Manchester feminist groups have been absolutely ruined because of accusations of a certain phobia they have, which they don't have. And you know, same with some women's shelters and things like that get. And I'm gonna say infiltrated by men. And I'm not saying they do.
It sounds weird the way you say it.
No, the women's groups, women's shelters, which should be for women, right?
By grifters.
Yeah, fucking slimy. No. They should be for women who are escaping domestic violence and assault and rape from their partners, male partners usually. Sorry, but trans people shouldn't be allowed them. That's not a controversial position in my opinion. The reason they shouldn't be is because it makes the women there feel uncomfortable. And there are a select few cases in which a man has used this opportunity.
The TERFs have came out in force today, haven't they?
Well, no. A man has used this opportunity multiple times, and some in the UK and some in the US, to infiltrate these groups and behead, rape, kidnap, or torment their ex-partner.
I think there's maybe a point where it becomes acceptable, though, like, say, like, it would depend what level they are in transition. Like, no one's going to go for like full reassignment surgery, things like that, just to do this. You wouldn't think.
Well, you wouldn't think. I don't know if these individual cases didn't. But if
it's like literally just someone changed like the fucking what they identify as, and maybe that's a bit suspect.
I think
like they haven't done anything else, and then they're immediately doing this.
Well, you could even let someone who do that. But what you shouldn't ever let in, right, is an ex-partner of one of the people living there.
Oh, has that happened before?
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking retarded.
Don't let an ex-partner in.
The important, sort of disclaimer here is that I don't think any of us would consider ourselves, transphobic.
No, of course
not. Of course not, right?
No. If I said this, I think a lot of left-wing people would be accused.
The thing is, it's we're all left-wing, we're all supportive of the LGBTQIA+.
The left-wing likes fighting itself.
No, genuinely, right. Right, but we're all fairly supportive of trans. I'm sure you would call a trans woman her. Right?
Well, yeah, I have like the Putin opinion on it.
You don't care about the benefits.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, we would all call trans women who called trans man.
I think I've met a transgender person who annoyed me for different reasons than being transgender. We had an argument.
Well, you thought they were a mass prick, but you still use the pronouns.
Yeah, I didn't ever think. I got in a big heated argument with them about something separate to the trans issue politically, and I never once said be really petulant and change the problem.
So we're all support for trans rights, but the thing that we recognise is that it's not like an easy issue. It's not like the existence of trans people is, I'm fully supportive of it, but there are areas of society where it creates problems. Sport.
Yes.
Sport as well.
Yes.
Women's shelters. Yeah. It does create problems. The bathroom issue is obviously one that it gets overblown massively, but there are like some problems there. Like sure, or with children, I mean the science is very fucking iffy on the whole like puberty blockers thing because they do get prescribed in places, and I don't know the science that well, but from what I understand, even in Sweden, I think they've been.
It's less a scientific issue, more just morality. That kid can't make that decision.
Yeah. Like there are grey areas there that need to be addressed and need to actually just be thought about, rather than just being like, well, they're women, so like men. It's like I'll say trans women are women. I think trans women are women. I'm fine. I think trans women are they
trans rights, human rights.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, all that. But when it comes to sports, it's like the gender divisions exist in sports for a reason. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but a man who transitions to a woman is going to have an objective advantage over women in that sport.
Especially in combat sports.
Yeah, especially in combat sports.
That's interesting. Because I think that, and I haven't researched more into it, but there's been a lot of people on the left who've argued that things like the hormone blockers and the surgeries and whatever actually balance it out and don't give them advantage. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I can imagine maybe if there's a load of, some sort of estrogen hormone blocker kind of thing going on, maybe that does make less testosterone, less muscle.
I have heard this male to female MMA fighter who absolutely mauled every female fighter and beat the living shit out of them. This giant guy.
Jack Warren.
Yeah. No, he was a man. I'm not going to give him the. I'm not going to give a woman
because in cases like this, like let's be fucking honest, there's no debate here. He did that to win.
Yeah.
He wasn't finding his true self, finding his true identity.
No,
he was doing that to win a sport.
Hijacking a movement that he knew what he would be interested in doing, no matter what he said, no matter what he was, and he done that because he only ever got participation medals in school, and he was really angry about that. You can tell.
But then you get on the controversial, the controversial topic of, are women as physically capable as men?
What, in sport?
In sport?
No, not even feminists. Like feminists wouldn't argue that.
No. There's very few people who argue that. That sometimes gets brought up in the military thing, the whole women in the military and stuff like that. That's an interesting topic to bring up to. I feel like that's one area I disagree with a lot of left-wing people on.
Well, a
lot of left-wing people say that women should be allowed in the military with, reduced entry requirements, stuff like that, to make it easier to encourage. There is a lot of that's the way it is currently, and that's the way a lot of people push for. And that shouldn't be the way it should be. They should be totally the same as this. Or else, let's be honest, you're going to get more people killed in the long run.
Yeah,
that's a baseline.
I know there's some both omnigender. I couldn't think of anything. So omnigender is what I'm going with.
It's offensive. No.
Correct. There's some male and female.
Unisex.
Yeah, omnigender. No, right. I think Israel and North Korea, South Korea. I'm pretty sure has both.
Israel
does.
I don't know
about South Korea.
Yeah, no, Israel I'm pretty sure has conscription. Israel has conscription for men and women, which is wrong fundamentally. But
conscription for them is wrong. But are they both for the same standard? I think they are. Israel's military's pretty decent, isn't it?
Well, in Israel, I don't think, to be fair, I feel like in Israel they did the same test. I just think in the UK,
if you do the same test, then yeah.
In the UK, it's one of them like manial issues that the Conservatives will pretend that they've got a progressive agenda on, just to sort of facilitate some and try and minimise the criticism they get.
No, but
It's one thing they did, oh look how progressive we are. You know what? Just like when they fucking said the police needs 10,000 new black police officers.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? The shit. The Conservatives are great at doing that. These terrible little fucking.
But then they relate like the proper irritating liberal sensibilities, and then there was I can't really against that because they're saying 10,000 black police officers. But the problem is you're making more police officers, right? And you're not actually giving them any.
I was just going to say another thing that pisses me off. I really don't care if it's controversial or not. It's when this happens in the UK and the US. Let's see. The police
was it actually?
The police spending millions of public funds to repaint cars for pride events and stuff like that.
Well, yeah.
It's who the fuck?
It's bollocks because the police historically have been fucking horrible at gay people.
The police are the fucking face of this. The police are the arm of the state, which allows the oppression to continue.
How can you? I mean, maybe not the police in general, but how can whoever's in charge of the police budget be police are so underfunded at the moment and still shell out money for this shit?
Well, you've heard us joke about the Malcolm X one.
Yeah, in America.
Malcolm X on a fucking cop car.
After George Floyd was killed.
Yeah.
The Malcolm X on a cop car. The guy who ran the Black Panthers and would historically follow police cars to see if they pull over black people and whip out fucking machine guns to threaten them. Yeah. And had a multiple shootout with them. Not him himself, but multiple shootouts with them. Very threatening towards the police. And he's on the fucking side of a police car. And you've just got these two white police officers standing there that's right, isn't it? Yeah, very
this
good.
Makes sense.
Yeah, no. And it's just fucking angering that they'll sort of attach themselves to these sort of left-wing movements when the police are the first ones who will actually bat you down if you dare to even if you dare to commit any modicum of violence in the name of fucking freeing your group. Jesus Christ, they'll be the first ones to absolutely destroy you, annihilate you, and then make it out as though you're the violent ones when they agitated the violence. They've done this last week at the fucking protest in Manchester over the fucking ownership of the football club Man United, and they've done it in the Bristol riots, and they've done it in the London riots,
BLM riots,
the Bristol riots and the London protests.
Just all of them.
But these are really recent ones that people could probably find more poignant. And the Bristol one, obviously, they lied about the officers injured. You talked in the London riots and Birmingham riots 2011. Some of the injuries were getting stung by a bee and injured in their own car, and obviously they completely lied about the 20 officers injured then. The people were making out after that Manchester United protest outside the stadium. They were making out as though some police had been nearly murdered. Like they said, 20 police officers injured. Whenever I see that now, I'm going, nah, don't believe it. Don't believe even one of you.
Unless it's 30,000, I think none of them were.
Yeah. Unless it's an absolutely insane number, then no, you're bullshitting. You're bullshitting because you know it benefits you. You know the public get really angry when some random fucking cop's hurt, and who gives a fuck? Yeah.
So.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Well,
so that's the Eunoiacast election special. I don't even know what's going on in the election. No, to be fair, we came into this thinking there would be more of an election coverage. But we've had BBC on for about 4 hours now.
Nope.
Literally nothing. Because exit polls aren't on this year, and
we can't really give any kind of running commentary on it. So.
We've discussed
the sort of issues.
We've discussed and we've had a good conversation outside that. But we will make a second podcast on that in a couple of weeks' time, and we will react to the council.
We'll reflect on things, and next week we'll probably bring in the new segments we talked about. The film review.
We're going to do some new segments.
Not the book review yet, but the film review. Hopefully on the next one. It should be good. So I'll watch the film on.
You know what I like about this? It's quite nice because we're essentially actually telling this to nobody, but we'll still do it.
Yeah, we'll still do it.
And you know what? If we ever get big, we're keeping this in. If we ever get big, then somebody clicks on this podcast, goes in they did care. We're never going to get big. Yeah. But regardless, I think it's quite nice.
It's nice. It's just a nice way.
We're basically fucking giving ourselves a pat on the back.
No, I mean this is just what we do normally.
Basically,
music.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah. So let's do our book reviews and movie reviews,
and let's hope for the future that we get big.
Yeah, of course. Donate our Patreon. Send I'll do that.
Well, yeah, thank you very much
listeners.
for listening. Gabe, I heard you're a listener, so shout out.
He is. There we go.
Richie, say goodbye.
Goodbye to everyone.
Yeah, you've been lovely
And
guests.
Gabe, if you're
You've
only
been lovely
doing-
audience. Thank you very much.